the hell am I?
Hello, boy. You need to watch and explain all 5 Phantasm movies, or I'm gonna kill you with a flying ball and then bring you back to life as a feral dwarf slave.
No! Oh,
It was little and brown and low to the ground.
What the shit? Bad Robot? How did J.J. Abrams' production company work on a film that came out when he was like 13? CG lens flare technology wasn't even invented yet. No, apparently they just helped restore this movie so that modern audiences could also experience the emotion that J.J. Abrams presumably felt when he watched it for the first time, which I'm gonna guess was, what? Wait, dwarves? Did I have a stroke? And now we can all feel that. Wow, thank you, JJ. When I was a kid, I remember going, what? And now I want everyone to feel that.
Dwarves.
Whatever. We open on what we'll eventually learn is like a morgue or something, even though it's clearly just somebody's regular house. And we also open that
Oh,
Now you see why Bad Robot absolutely had to bring this movie to the people. And what other horror have you seen where 2 people are just like going to town on each other in a nearby graveyard? The corpses aren't the only things on their backs, and also not the only thing that's stiff because of penis. Today this is known as bone boning.
that was great, baby.
And stabbing the boy post-climax is known as a spooky porking. This is an educational channel.
It's hard to believe that he killed himself.
Yeah, I also can't believe that, considering he was stabbed in the chest, which only ranks above shot in the back of the head with your hands tied behind your back as the least common suicide method.
Probably suspected a bit of foul play.
Yeah.
And any coroner worth his preserving salts would point out that this dude's balls were completely empty after he stabbed some strange, which is as good a reason as any to cling to life. If you ask nicely, the coroner will just show them to you.
Those are balls.
But one of the dead guy named Tommy's 2 best friends, Jody, wanders through the, I guess, mausoleum part of the morgue house, which has some really wild design choices. Man, the 70s, right? Every house had shag carpets, marble walls, and freaky scratching sounds.
The funeral is about to begin, sir.
Okay, wow, just getting right to business, huh? Way to take the fun out of funeral. Outside, a boy named Michael decides to help grow the local funeral business by riding through the presumably still slippery graveyard on a motorcycle, which is the most respectful way to move through a cemetery. He's like, he's going like 8 miles an hour. He's just like, the only way that's more respectful to go through the cemetery is with a mobile stripper pole, like a stripper pole on wheels where you're like, yeah. The motorcycle kind of stalls out and he sees something running between the gravestones, making those same freaky scratching noises, interestingly.
Hey, I'm a cat. Check me out. Hey, I'm also a cat.
But he's not too worried about that. He's spying on Tommy's funeral through some binoculars.
Well, say goodbye to Tommy.
Goodbye, bitch.
I mean, you have to understand, before the NES, kids had some weird hobbies, and funeral voyeurism was one of the main ones. Afterwards, the tall, weird mortician dude single-handedly hucks Tommy's casket back into the hearse, which is weird both because it implies that he's crazy strong and that he's like crazy because he's stealing a body. And if he's anything like Dave, this graveyard is about to get even slipperier from jizz. That's why his motorcycle was stalling out, because the whole graveyard, I assume, was coated in jizz.
Heck of an assumption.
Like, there are snow tires, but there aren't, like, jizz tires.
Well, there are. They're just very hard to find.
not a lot of companies make, though.
It's hard to find them anywhere outside of Vegas. Michael, unable to process these big boy thoughts alone, wanders to some weird house to chat with some weird girl's weird grandmother. This was the Google search of the late 70s. If you had a question, you had to go find a weird grandma to ask. And eventually, young Charles Google was like, I bet we could turn this into a computer thing.
Is your grandmother home?
I need internet.
The grandmother, through her granddaughter, tells Michael not to worry about the fact that Jody is planning to leave town.
If he does leave, he'll take you with him.
Oh, thank God. But even still, Michael's afraid of this possibility because his and Jody's parents recently died, and Mike's only 13, and Lunchables haven't been invented yet. So it'd really suck if he had to make his own lunch and sew his own underwear, or like whatever else 13-year-olds need out of life. I don't know. All my children have promised to never become teenagers, and I'm holding them to that. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by.
God, I hope she's right.
She always is.
Michael drives himself home in a cool-ass car, which is definitely illegal and therefore double cool. This is a cool 13-year-old.
He's a tough little kid. I love him.
All 13-year-olds watching this should attempt to be exactly like Michael. Drive bikes through cemeteries, illegally drive cars, drive your brother mad with worry. Just drive, baby.
Yeah, I'm thinking of sending him off to live with his aunt.
Coolest of all, Michael can repair the car with his little boyish hands, kind of like all the little kids at the end of Snowpiercer. So I guess he's earned the right to drive. Oh, also here's Reggie, the third part of the Tommy Jody trio, and the creepiest damn ice cream man there ever was.
We're hot as love, you know.
Michael randomly wanders back to the Grands where...
Grandmother wants to play a little game.
Okay, now in my experience, this means that Grandma wants to cheat all to hell at some rummy, but this Grandma wants to just straight up do a dune?
Put your hand in the box.
Put your right hand in the box.
Oh, does it hurt? And is it weird?
Hey, this thing really hurts.
This is all just straight up Dune, which wasn't a movie yet, but was definitely a book that people had pretended to read to the end.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for nothing, you knockoff ass bend grandma-esserit. Grandmesserit. You get it.
It was all in your mind. Fear is the killer.
That's illegal. That's illegal. That's illegal.
It's important to note that the writer-director of this movie claims that it all came to him in a dream. And I could see how you might dream parts of Dune after reading the book, so this tracks. It took me weeks to stop dreaming about how the worms in my garden had fused with my son, who was immortal, and then he conquered the galaxy, and he started rolling around on top of clones. I tried writing some of the worms when I woke up, but they just got squished. So I get it, Dawn. That night, Jody heads to a funky-ass bar, unknowingly followed by horny-ass Michael, because days are for funeral voyeurism, but nights were for classic voyeurism, classical voyeurism. The arrival of the NES really cut down on voyeurism crime, and that's kind of my overall point, so thank you, Nintendo. Jody seduces a woman at the bar in a record 12 seconds. He didn't even need to use the old crotch trick.
He wouldn't have pulled that old crotch trick. He never would have.
So they head to the old yard to bone amongst the bones, because I guess there's literally nowhere else in town to have sex.
That's spooky, isn't it?
Doesn't he have a car full of exactly 0 dead people that he could make? Could he make the car slippery? Do you have to have sex in the graveyard? Or is it just these 3 friends that's like their thing? They're like, I'm doing this in honor of my friend who loved to have sex in the graveyard. It's one thing to convince a random woman to sleep with you, but it's another thing to convince a random woman to sleep with you in a graveyard.
Are these goth girls?
She's a dude from another dimension. Is that a goth girl?
I'm not saying they're not.
No, it's exciting.
Well, she's a guy, so.
You know, say what you will about sleazy rent-by-the-hour motels, but they really cut down on cemetery sex across the U.S. Thank you, sleazy rent-by-the-hour motels. You truly are the Nintendo of places to have sex at. But hey, at least we finally get the first clear sign that Jody and Michael are pervert brothers, and not just random perverts who live together.
Wow.
Whoa! Brothers always have the same taste in tits. The same tit taste. But before Jody could penetrate her, or her penetrate him, because yeah, she's the same woman from the intro, seemingly, which explains her cemetery kink, I guess.
What's the only thing to do in this town?
Murdering and f***ing.
Michael's attacked by some little Jawa gremlin thing, and he takes off running right through their sex spot. Jody investigates.
Wait here, it's my little brother. I think he's got some kind of a problem.
Jody doesn't believe Michael was attacked by something.
Little and brown and low to the ground.
Or to the extent that he does believe it, he thinks it's a
Gopher in heat.
And speaking of horny rodents, Jody hands the 13-year-old boy the keys to his dry car. And then he heads back to the cemetery to bury his dick in the lady of the night who, she's gone? Oh, man, you can't leave half-sexed women in the middle of cemeteries anymore without them getting stolen. Damn it. What happened to this country? Ugh, where's the sense of community? I don't trust any of my neighbors anymore. I had a half-naked woman over there before we started shooting. Where the hell did she go?
What the heck?
You're about to see me at the community board meeting.
Yeah, the neighborhood watch is not doing their job.
I left it right there.
I put a piece of tape on it that said Jordans. Although I kind of hope she was stolen and not simply turned off by the screaming 13-year-old running around yelling about being attacked by sexually aroused gophers. Some women are impossible. Either way, the country's changed, man. Whether they're being stolen or they just can't hang anymore.
You had your whole Valentine's Day set up.
I guess it's also possible that she's secretly a very tall CrossFit mortician. I truly hope she isn't one of those women. Honestly, all three options I'm not into. That she's secretly a dude who does CrossFit, that she got stolen, or that she got turned off by a screaming 13-year-old. I'm not gonna see her again. That's it, I'm breaking up with her.
You sure you're gonna be okay?
Is right here good? It's so fancy. You know, we tall Daves come in all shapes and sizes and varying tolerances for unspeakable evil, but there is one thing that we all have in common. A passion for harvesting the dead. Also, we're all sponsored by Raycon. I personally use Raycon's bone conduction headphones. They literally send sound vibrations straight through your bones. You know how I love bones, I love dead stuff. You don't have to be dead to have bones, but if you are dead, your bones are more visible usually. The point is, it sends vibrations through your bones, which leaves your ears completely open. That way, I can blast my favorite spooky 70s synth music while still hearing when my zombie dwarf minions are slacking off or complaining about union benefits. I wear them when I go for my morning runs to make sure I'm in shape enough to do battle with those who would oppose my plans for interdimensional domination, and thanks to them being IP68 waterproof and dustproof, you can use these bad boys even if Earth has been struck down by an alien plague and reduced to a nightmarish hellscape. I also use them when I'm watching terrible horror movies on my laptop in coffee shops around town, because it's important that I can hear the barista approaching with my flat white so they don't catch me weeping openly during a Puppet Master sequel, which I'm doing. I'm doing all 15 Puppet Masters. No! So if you want to enjoy your podcast while staying aware of your surroundings, or if you're trying to outrun one of my death orbs, click the link below or head to buyraycon.com/JordanBreedingBC to get 20% off your order. Plus, these suckers come with a 30-day happiness guarantee, making them one of the few things in this universe I can promise won't steal your soul. I'll probably still smash you into like a dwarf and put your brain in a ball, but I will get you a great deal on headphones.
So get in the bone zone.
The next day, Michael wanders through town sucking pop, as they say, and he sees a creepy dude that he dreamed about the other night.
Dave?
Oh, not him. A different one, who also happens to be the mortician. Even creepier, that night, somebody drops the car that Mike's been working on onto him, and in his confusion, Mike smacks his brother in his foot. Not cool, Mike. He needs that foot for walking to the sex cemetery.
My f***ing foot, man.
Michael's really cracking up out here, and nobody believes his stories about horny gophers and hulking morticians.
Sure wasn't that retarded kid Timmy up the street?
I hope not. Otherwise, that means Mike was intentionally trying to break a disabled kid's foot, which even in the 70s was kind of frowned upon. But no, Michael stuffs a knife in his sock and heads off to...
One-on-one with The Undertaker!
That is, to murder the man haunting his dreams who he believes can lift 500-pound caskets by himself. Seems reasonable. I keep seeing this hulking man in my dreams, and I'm thinking I'm gonna put a knife in my sock and go kill him. Okay, well, even if you succeed, you've killed a man. I don't know how that's gonna play out for you.
Kid's a go-getter, I'll tell you that much.
He's a dreamer, an optimist. We should all be like this kid. We should all believe we can kill creepy old men with knives, is my point, and get away with it, I guess. It's not a very big town.
Well, that's the thing with killing somebody is, like, that's the easy part.
Yeah.
It's the, the cleanup is the hard part.
Well, to be fair, there's a graveyard right there.
That's a kind of a fun way to cover up a murder.
Yeah, buried on top of another body.
Hear that, viewers? New murder tip just dropped.
Give me a break, would ya?
Mikey breaks into the mausoleum thing, but runs into some other dude who is terrifying in that he's wearing a hat. So Michael hides in an empty coffin for a bit before determining it's safe to, again, resume his assassination attempt, except, oh my God!
Those are balls.
He's almost blasted by a metal flying ball that, in actuality, slams into the hat guy and drills into his brain, causing him to squirt blood.
We got a squirter!
Oh, it also squirts piss.
Is that piss?
Not a lot of people know this, but your brain has some piss in it. When your balls fill up, it goes to, some more goes in the brain.
Oh, shit! Get the out of here!
Okay, there's the creepy tall man, which is the canonical name of this monster behind the entire franchise. Because when I think of supernatural beings that may be from another dimension, spoiler alert, the first thing I want to know is, are they tall? I can't be scared of an average-heighted man, no matter how many people he raises from the dead, spoiler alert. But a tall man? Ah, he can reach shelves that I can't, and like, who knows what's on top of those shelves? Guns? Knives? The respect of my wife? The truest terror is emasculation. I bet he's even better than me at opening jars.
Oh, shit.
He's a guy that raises people from the dead and turns them into dwarves, and he has balls that drill into your brain, and he may be from another dimension, and he's so tall. You're like, tall?
The police lineup of a bunch of 6-foot average height people. One of them has floating balls.
Yeah, and like a undead Jawa slave. And they're like, they all look the same. It's so funny too, because it's like, he's tall in like a 6'3" way, maybe. He's not like freakishly, he's not like the thing from It Follows that's like,
You wouldn't want him in front of you at like a concert.
yeah, but you're not like, I bet this guy has dwarf slaves. Well, I assume that of everybody who blocks my view at a concert. Where are your slaves? Michael runs away from this terrifying in that he's taller than average guy, and in the process, he slices off a few of the tall man's fingers because they got caught in a door, and they apparently bleed piss? Is that why he's so strong? He's literally full of piss and vinegar? At home, Mike passes out on the stairs next to a wiggly box that, yeah, contains the still wiggly, pissy fingers. And so the next day, Jody looks in the box and he's like,
Okay, I believe you.
wiggly piss fingers are the most slam dunk legal evidence that one can provide. It's how they caught the Unabomber. I think I mailed my wiggly piss fingers instead of a bomb.
I always get those two boxes mixed up.
I need a better filing system.
Your piss, is it viscous like that?
Yeah, everybody's pee is like really thick, right? Chunky.
Sausage gravy.
Something weird is going on.
I think I'll just have a talk with my pee-pee.
Anyway, Jody wants to go get the sheriff. But then the fingers turn into a bug thing that they have to kill by stuffing down the garbage disposal. And they never think to contact the authorities ever again. Because no prosecutor would risk their conviction rate by even looking at a case that doesn't have the smoking, wiggly, piss fingers gun of evidence.
That's the one piece of evidence every detective is looking for.
Also, to be fair, there just isn't a way to spin this into, you know, like non-insanity. Like, again, if a werewolf is chasing you, you could say that a crazy guy dressed as a werewolf was chasing you. But where do you start with a funeral-themed dream demon whose cut-off wiggly piss fingers transform into giant flies? I guess you could call animal control to come over, but I don't think they'd be much help. They're like chasing around this big fly, and you're like, I promise these used to be wiggly piss fingers of a tall guy who brings people back to life and he haunts my dreams. They're like, okay, well.
Hey, what's going on here?
But they also never consider leaving town, even though Jody was already considering leaving town before he knew it was full of wiggly, piss-fingered fly demons. Maybe they should just leave town. Bring friggin' Reggie if you want.
Hey, guys.
I'm sure they need ice cream delivered by perverts in other states. Back then, it was up there with a shoe salesman and a party clown as one of the most pervert-friendly careers one could find. But nowadays, you have to go to business school or win an election to become an employed pervert. Or you have to work on a YouTube channel, I guess. There's just not as many options. I'm saying Dave, not me.
Which part of this YouTube channel?
Not me!
What the hell is going on?
But no, we're gonna double down and hand the 13-year-old a shotgun.
Warning shots are bullshit.
Oh, they're not bringing him, I guess? Oh, it's a smart move then, giving your barely teen sibling a gun and leaving him without supervision. Shotgun was actually the most popular type of babysitter in the 70s. But so now, Jody Wilkes Booth leaves to assassinate the tall man?
A Colt Army issue will put a man down and keep him there.
Like, what's going on with this family that they think they could just assassinate people? They're like, I have a problem. And obviously, our solution is to assassinate the problem.
Every minor inconvenience, it's like I gotta assassinate.
They put pickles on my cheeseburger because I'm going to assassinate the McDonald's. Usually when you're trying to kill Michael Myers, for example, it's because he's attacking your house. These guys are actively like, we gotta go in there. We're gonna go this guy up. He hasn't even really done anything.
He's just being creepy, right?
Yeah, there's just a weird guy around town. And he's like, in my dreams. It's like, yeah, he attacked you when you invaded his home in the middle of the night.
Just because I have different traditions than you? Spinning orbs or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely evil, but like, by the time Mike tries to kill him, the only thing that he knows is that he's like really strong and looks weird. Jody's attacked by a dwarf thing for a minute until he shoots it off because he doesn't discriminate against targets by height. He'll kill tall guys, he'll kill short guys.
Very progressive.
Jody then runs away, giving up after encountering literally just one single setback. And he's chased by a car, which he also shoots, because when all you have is a gun, every problem looks like a thing that should be shot with a gun. But he's picked up by Michael in a car.
Door latch. Get in.
But then they're further chased by the apparently empty car.
There's nobody driving that mother.
So Jody's forced to shoot it a bunch more. Except, oh, the car wasn't empty.
It's one of those dwarfs.
But not just any dwarf. It's sort of like a shrunken Tommy, their dead, penetrated friend from the intro. And that's why you always put on a condom before spooky porking in a graveyard.
Get your condom blessed by a priest or an exorcist. Bring an exorcist with you.
Dip your dong in holy water. Glue some rosary beads around your...
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Because otherwise I might wake up, I've died, and then I became a dwarf, and I jumped feral.
Tommy.
Well, that's confusing. But let's go ahead and stuff his tiny corpse in Reggie's ice cream truck.
This guy's not gonna leak all over my ice cream, is he?
No, but Dave will, if given the chance. He says that the pee cleans the ice cream, and he calls it the 30-second flavor. He's been trying to sell it to Baskin-Robbins for years.
Right.
Back home, they decide that the deal is that the tall man is out here stealing dead bodies and making them alive, but also small. Why a person of any height would ever need to do that is unclear. But the solution is as clear as day, and the same as trying to stop Shaq in his prime.
We gotta snag that tall dude and stomp the shit out of him.
What did Africa do to you?
That's the only way to stop Shaq. If Jody had played professional basketball, his plan would have been to assassinate Shaq.
It's like the Tanya Harding thing. I mean,
Yeah, she was inspired by Phantasm.
I see it all now.
We've sort of been trying that this entire time, and we just agreed that he's able to bring people back to life and turn them into feral dwarves. But sure, let's really stomp the shit out of him this time. I mean, we gotta.
You gotta be shitting me, man. That mother's strong.
Forget about it, cuz.
But also, no, Michael, you still can't come. We're gonna take you over to Sally's place at the antique store. We can't get another decent shotgun to babysit you on such short notice. So hopefully there'll be like, I don't know, a haunted doll that talks only to you there. There weren't a lot of good options for babysitters in the 70s. Anyway, I hope you have fun. Well, I hope you have fun, at least until you see a weird moving photo and demand to be taken home.
You have to take me home.
But why?
No questions. You must take me home.
He's the worst babysitter. So he's like, please keep him here. And he's like, I want to go home. And they're like, all right. I assume there was no reason they left you here. Except on the way home, they see Reggie's ice cream truck has flipped and Tommy Dwarf has escaped. And the condition of the Choco Tacos is terrifyingly unknown.
Get out of here quick.
Or don't. And instead open the door. I'm sure that'll be fine. Dwarf attack! Michael escapes out a window while the women drive off to their certain dwarfy deaths. Chivalry It's dead, I guess. Bummer. Oh, Jody, meanwhile, hurriedly, he falls asleep. And then he wakes up in the mausoleum and is attacked by dwarves. It's one of the many ways in which this movie is exactly like The Hobbit.
Stomp the shit out of him.
Now, a lot of people smarter than me claim that this movie is a profound meditation on grief, but Dave also beats the shit out of dwarves, and I don't necessarily think that he's grieving anything other than being banned from all the Snow White rides at Disney. Sorry. People are like, this really helped me with my grief, and I'm like, how?
Got better.
But Jody wakes up again back in his regular house, and Michael's back, and Jody's unsurprisingly not surprised, though he does lock Michael in his room. But again, Michael escapes, and this time he uses an improvised shotgun hammer.
Got a blast.
F***ing Jimmy Neutron over here.
I've been waiting for you.
Oh God, he's thrown in the back of the hearse by the tall man. But again, Jimmy Neutron here uses another brilliant plan to shoot the gun that he still has on him to blast the car's window and shoot the car's tire and escape out the back. Instead of shooting the tall man, I guess. I doubt the hearse has bulletproof windows. The dead bodies rarely shoot the driver. But whatever, it works. Jinkies. Or, whatever Jimmy Neutron says. Gotta ejaculate. But he still ends up back at the mausoleum, and POV, you're a brain-drilling, piss-squirting orb of death. And if they put that into VR goggles, the metaverse, it would still be here. It never would have gone under. But thankfully, Jody shoots it out of the air before he starts squirting everywhere. And, I guess Reggie isn't dead.
Hey, man, I don't know.
Yay. And also, neither are those girls because Reggie helped them escape. So, hey, what's behind this door? Why, it's mostly black barrels full of
Dwarves. F***ing knew it.
Of course. What else would be in there? Elves? No, idiot. They live on shelves. Oatmeal? That would just attract more dwarfs. They love oatmeal because it's, it's got healthy carbs and it's full of fiber. The lesson here is that all barrels everywhere almost certainly contain dwarfs, either because they're just in there or because they're eating the oatmeal that's in there, or the whiskey, or the salted pork. The point is, if there's a barrel, there's a dwarf. You have to be ready for that.
This looks like a up like one of those anthropology documentaries.
We've set up a barrel full of oatmeal in the hopes that a dwarf will come. Oh, there's one now. Oh, that's a bigger dwarf than I was expecting. Must have been raised from the dead. But the room also has two poles that Michael walks between, and they sort of suck him to some planet full of dwarves. And also their barrel moms, kind of. But he's pulled out by his brother. And okay, so here's the full deal, such as it is.
Slaves.
The dwarves are slaves, and they're made to be smaller because this planet has higher gravity, and this thing here is a wormhole so that you could travel to that planet, where they do work for the tall man.
And they gotta crush him because of the gravity.
Does gravity work less if you're short? I don't know, but that's it. Yeah. Reggie, not surprised by this somehow, even though, is that an explanation? Why do we need slaves on some random planet somewhere? Why do we need to resurrect and shorten dead human bodies to make that happen? I realize it doesn't matter, but I feel like it'd be nice to know a little more about this now that we've gotten this far. Like, if they threw Abraham Lincoln into the slave dimension, would he be the height of a regular person because he was so tall to begin with? Would he get shrunk to like Dave's height? I don't know. Dwarf attack! Also, Reggie touches the poles, causing everything to get sucked, and now it's windy as hell outside, and we learn, oh, hey, by the way, sexy stabby lady was actually the tall man. Don't like those boobs so much now that you know that they're probably filled with piss, do you, brothers? What's that, Dave? You like them more? Reggie gets stabbed by he/her while Jody and Michael drive away, and the house kind of goes all spaceshipy for a second, and they drive straight to the sheriff's. I'm just kidding. They come up with a plan to knock the tall man down.
An old mine shaft.
Of course! Mining shafts. The classic weakness of non-binary dream demon funeral-themed dwarf slave owner makers everywhere. Oh, I guess enact the plan now? Dump rocks on them. Jody, hooray, we did it. We win. It's over.
You play a good game, boy.
They're like, you know, we've been doing all this insane shit. Why don't we just throw him down the old mining shaft like a freaking Wile E. Coyote? What do you mean there's a mining shaft?
Jody died in a car wreck.
Ah, shit.
You had a bad dream.
You know what? I get it. After spending dozens of hours writing a script for one of these videos, I also usually just shit out the last couple of minutes or whatever to get it over with. I'm out of ideas, but it needs to end. Still disappointing though, and I hate getting dream juked.
Seems real.
Did it seem real? Did all the things you've seen seem real, Michael?
It's like the end of Princess Bride, but at the end, it's instead of Grandpa, it's Reggie like hitting a vape, telling him like QAnon like crazy shit about different planets.
And then he says the end, and the kid's like, what? That wasn't real?
You know, partner, what we need is
Big ass titties!
Anyway, I guess Reggie is Michael's new dad and or brother. I hope you like ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And also, they're gonna hit the road together. Or they would if the tall man didn't suck Mike into a mirror. It's fine, probably just a dream. Or it's a metaphor for grief. Maybe it's a metaphor for Vietnam. I don't know. The only person who does know? J.J. Abrams. Lens flare. Oh, thank God. All of this is just a dream. Oh my God. That's a relief. Daddy could use a hot dog. Ah! Well, crap!
blowing up my own house because it was infested with midgets.
A woman springs awake to check that her gas stove isn't on and that the horrific mixture of ass and eggs that she smells is only coming from her ass.
Oh, thank God.
Woo-hoo. Fun fact, eating ancient Arby's so that you'd wake up to your own stank was how ancient peoples woke up on time before alarm clocks. History is amazing.
Get me on that Sumerian beef and cheddar, dude.
Dude. Anyway, better throw this experience in the old dream journal, Liz. You know, for the past 8 years, you've been having visions of stuff like stinky farts and also, apparently, Reggie and Mike.
I also found him, the tall man.
I hate that guy.
I knew it. I knew the tall man farted. You can only get that tall by drinking milk, and white people often have lactose intolerance. The phantasms are his farts, and a phantasm 2 is when he farts so hard it poops. I mean, he poops. That's why phantasm number 1 focused so much on his pee fingers. This franchise is very deep, very thematically rich, and I'm guessing that the third one's gonna be about vomit, but God knows what 4 and 5 are about. I'm so excited. What do you think? Common horsey sauce?
This is the type of high-level film conversations I'm looking for.
Why aren't we more popular? I don't understand. Why are our videos not like the most popular things on YouTube? I don't get it.
What we need is a change of scenery.
We then watched the end of the last movie because this is a horror franchise. Inflicting suffering is its main goal. And it's immediately revealed that Reggie was wrong. And in fact, none of it was a dream, or at least the last part wasn't. The part with Mike getting dragged by a dwarf who didn't skip leg day, that's real. Wait, what does Reggie think is going on? Or rather, what did happen last movie? This is definitely the kind of question you want asked by people who literally just saw your movie. Never give them an inch. Never explain yourself. Cultivate mystique. But like, we only saw things from Mike's perspective. So from Reggie's perspective, literally none of that happened. And in fact, this is the only unusual thing he's seen. Did Reggie forget what happened? Or was he bamboozled in some way? Or did Mike have an honestly crazy-ass dream about nothing that just so happened to coincide with being grabbed in reality by a weird dude in his mirror and then dragged away by a zombie dwarf slave from space? Because honestly, I mean, what a coincidence.
That tall man of yours did not take Jody away. Jody died in a car wreck.
From a certain point of view.
Like, he says that his brother was killed by a car crash. And his brother is dead, and I don't think he was killed by the tall man. So does that mean the whole first movie didn't happen, and then Mike is randomly attacked by a tall man to start this movie, basically? I just mean, how did his brother die? And does Reggie remember the last movie? Why does Reggie not know? I don't know. Honestly, this is kind of the frustrating thing with horror franchises that end installments with dream/jump scares. Like either A, you need to clear things up by starting the next one with an exposition dump or tacking on a delayed epilogue to the previous movie, or B, dump it on the audience to piece together themselves. And guess what they chose? I'm never gonna know. Anyway, Reggie grabs a gun because he's an ice cream man and they handle most kinds of weaponry at a high level. But unfortunately, he can't find any damned ammo. Although that shouldn't matter that much because according to Dave, dwarves are apparently pretty easy to slam or just like pistol whip. But like the proverb about fighting 100 fifth graders, that becomes less true as their numbers increase. But as we all know, the best way to defeat 100 fifth graders is by exploding your entire house on them.
They are smarter than a fifth grader.
Reggie could probably kill like 1,000 fifth graders that way. And he may have to by the end of this movie. I mean, who knows? There were a lot of barrels, both on our planet and their planet. Oh my God, is that where the phrase, like shooting fifth graders in a barrel comes from? Or is that just something you say, Dave? I'm starting to realize that may not be a common saying from anyone else.
It's all in your imagination.
Well, regardless, all of that was 4 dwarves and 7 years ago.
It's been a tough 7 years.
Which one of y'all dead motherfuckers just said that?
And Liz is in love with Mike now, despite never meeting him, and she's unclear what the tall man's deal is.
I don't know where he comes from. Maybe another dimension.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I think it's that he's from some farty planet in outer space, but the bigger issue is...
Soon my grandfather will die, and my visions will become real.
In what way is your grandfather being alive stopping that from happening? Is he keeping the visions from coming true with his belt? Because old people, they're really good with belts, in my experience. They have really firm belt-whipping hands. But also, who is your grandfather? Is he even taller man from an even smaller and more gravity-dense planet with even shorter zombie or dwarf slaves? Oh, spoiler alert, I don't know. We never know. She just says it. She's like, I'm pretty sure the only reason I'm not being eaten by dwarves right now is my grandpa. And I'm like, well, that's probably true of me. Oh no, my grandpa died last year.
Help me.
Mike, meanwhile, talks his way out of the psych ward that he's been locked up in since the events of Phantasm by claiming to be a changed man. And again, does that mean he was not grabbed in the mirror and then dragged by a dwarf? And then the house exploded?
Your doctor said it was your own paranoid delusion.
Reggie was like, I saw you being attacked by a tall man and dragged by a dwarf, and I blew up your house to save you, and then I turned you in? That's a pretty move, Reggie.
Damn it, Mike, I've tried to help you. What the hell am I supposed to do?
You're so crazy you're making me see things.
It's your fault.
You made me do this. I don't know, it's just, how did he get there? Just because you've had a harrowing experience doesn't necessarily automatically mean you will be committed. Are they dragging Mike away? And he's like, he was there. Reggie's like, no, I wasn't. The kid's crazy. Yeah, this kid's... Oh, sorry, Mike, but you know, I can't. I don't know, whatever.
Hey, the doctors and you too if you don't want to help me.
They let him go, and Mike immediately heads to a graveyard to dig up some bodies. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that psych ward, probably gonna give it a 1 star on Yelp. If they leave and immediately go dig up dead bodies, I don't think the work was done. Clearly not effective. But at least the staff didn't get outsmarted by inbred cannibals or possessed children's toys or explorers from the edges of experience or hulking juvenile delinquents or regular-sized juvenile delinquents or a janitor or liquid robots or zombie cops, you know? Just to name literally not even all of them because this is the most common horror setting in all of human existence. But also, I guess this one specifically is not the worst place that we've seen so far. So you know what, let's give it 1.5 stars. They're digging up dead bodies, but they're not necessarily, you know, doing whatever the hell Michael Myers has been doing.
Oh man, I got peanut butter on my penis.
Look at this, damn it.
Reggie meets him there because, is this his hobby now too?
I was afraid I'd find you here.
Okay, the NES has already been released by the second movie. You guys have no more excuses to be weird like this. This is a choice. You are choosing to be weird instead of playing Super Mario, and I'm sorry. I can't defend you anymore. Except, wait, there's nothing even here to play with.
Every single corpse in this entire graveyard's missing.
Ugh, well, anyway. How you been, Reggie?
Blowing up my own house because it was infested with midgets.
Okay, let me just pause to say that I hate when producers just lift an entire line from the movie for their posters. But no, that's not what Mike's talking about. He's like, hey, Reggie, remember how we spent the whole last movie unsuccessfully trying to kill the tall man? Actually, maybe you don't remember that because maybe it didn't actually happen. It's not clear. But regardless, let's freaking do it again, dude.
I want to stop him. The tall man.
Why do you want to kill this guy so bad? I guess they're mad because he turned their dead friend, into a dwarf, which I guess is sort of an explanation, but is also so confusing to sort of think through. And Reggie's like, all right, fine. But first, let's go to my new house that is definitely not infested with dwarves nor exploded.
The gas in there's gonna go up and it's gonna blow!
Oh, spoke too soon.
So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem.
Damn it. Oh, well.
You knew before it happened. Let's go, Mike. We got things to do.
Guess we should do a road trip, you know?
Let's go shopping.
First stop, robbing a hardware store and then using those tools to actively craft shit like a low-budget Dead Rising game. What's better than shooting zombie dwarf slaves from outer space with a double-barrel shotgun? Shooting zombie slave dwarves from outer space with quadruple barrels. Oh my God, that's twice as many barrels. And since dwarves are like half as much person, that's like 8 times the firepower that you'd need for a regular-sized zombie slave from outer space.
The numbers don't lie! And they spell
midgets.
The best way to teach math is through alien, dwarf, slave, zombie word problems, I guess. That's why I'm homeschooling all of my kids. Support me on Patreon so I can afford a customized shotgun for each of my 3 children. We're gonna go blow away some dwarves and just count them up. Hey, did you know?
Small towns are like people. Some get old and die a natural death. Some are murdered.
Great.
Yeah. I didn't know that. But quick question. If that's true, then why is the town from the first movie mostly intact? Tall man already hit there, but buildings aren't shorter now, so they're not zombie buildings. And every subsequent small town we see in this movie looks like a nuke went off, which even then, how? How would losing all of the dead bodies in a town make the town look like this? It's not like the factory shutting down. You're just out of dead bodies. It's not like the local Arby's is doing enough business that they would need all of the dead bodies. In most towns that have an Arby's, they need to have a healthy amount of dead bodies in the local graveyard so that they can source it for their beef and cheddars. And so in theory, if the tall man took all those dead bodies, the Arby's has to close down because like where are they gonna get their meat? But I don't think it's doing that much business. I assume the tall guy can have some bodies, Arby's can have some bodies. I'm sure they could make a deal. Because I assume when they make them short, they're denser. So you get more meat per pound. New Arby's, extra thick, extra dense, neutron star sliders.
Dinner's waiting for you.
I mean, maybe it's implied that they're just killing everybody in town so they get even more dead bodies, but if that's true, I'm shocked that the news never picked up on all these towns in the area being overrun by evil zombie dwarf slaves from outer space. But again, why didn't they overrun Mike and Reggie's town, right? They've had 7 or 8 years to do it. And also, why wait 7 years to explode Reggie's family? Were they just in disbelief that somebody would marry and copulate with Reggie and they wanted to see how it played out? Also, these graveyards are fully and obviously empty, whereas Mike had to actively dig up the not bodies in their town. I don't know, okay? And the movie doesn't either, and the movie doesn't care, so neither will I. But Tall Boy's got a massive operation going on now, and yet there's still no clear purpose other than so these dwarves can do hard labor on a distant planet somewhere. Oh God, do you think that's how they make frosted mini-wheats? I love those. I mean, I guess I'd consider supporting alien slavery by zombie dwarves for more frosted mini-wheats. I mean, they taste great and they have lots of fiber, which is good for you. Although, probably not, but I gotta break into yet another morgue or whatever and find a dead, naked girl body in the same room as a toilet. So for like 3 seconds, I was like, what? Did they film this at Dave's house? But then I realized Dave's toilet is never that clean.
Was that toilet always next to the refrigerator?
Mike inspects the dead naked girl's dead naked body a little weirdly closely, and he finally concludes that, yep, I'm a pervert now. Mike's like, I wasn't sure. But after looking at this dead body very closely, I think I'm here. And then he and Reggie, they have a big hug. They start crying. It's beautiful, actually.
You knew before it happened.
but Mike looks away for a second and she's gone?
Where are the boobs?
I'm so sorry, Rich.
Oh no, that's terrifying because there's nothing scarier than boobs disappearing. Like, what was that Hemingway story? For scares, boobs gone, never touched? You know what I think it was? I think it was the same ass neighbors that stole my half-naked chick from the graveyard.
You're gonna have to go get them. You're gonna have to go throw them in a mine shaft.
Reggie, meanwhile, finds Liz huddled in a corner, wearing some clothes, but also wearing the tall man's head exploding out of her back.
You play a good game, boy.
So, you know, they just set it all on fire. There's a limit to what a man will endure for boobs.
That one was the worst. So far.
The real Liz, by the way, rides to her grandpa's funeral, and then she's at her grandpa's funeral, and then she's getting bored at her grandpa's funeral, and so she wanders through the mausoleum part of wherever they are, and the priest, seeing an opportunity, chugs some liquid courage and stabs grandpa's dead body.
I'm not dead. Ah, thanks very much.
And I'm not Catholic, but I don't think you're allowed to do that. This is why you can't leave priests unattended. This is the second worst thing that they might do. Though as Dave tells me every day unprompted, it's not a felony, but a misdemeanor if the person is already dead.
Oh, maybe so.
Liz then walks up to a nasty-ass coffin, and the tall man is there, and I guess now she can't find her grandma.
If you want her, come tonight.
It's scary stuff. Way scarier than my grandpa's funeral last year. As far as I know, he didn't haunt the alcoholic priest or anything. Nor did he haunt my grandma. I mean, I don't think. I guess I never asked her, but it seems like something that might not go over well. Even if I explained to my grandma the plot of the first two Phantasm movies in excruciating detail, my dad had to convince her to unblock my number after I explained just one Hellraiser, so I'm not pushing my luck. Oh, speaking of, tall man has grandpa too?
I've got them both.
Not sure why you can't just grab Liz and complete the whole collector's set, but maybe it's fun to toy with the people that you hope to turn into zombie dwarf slaves from outer space. I mean, that must get pretty boring after a few thousand years. Or wait, do we have any proof that the tall man has actually been around for a long time? Like maybe he just started making the dwarf zombie slaves like 1 week before the first movie?
Isn't that logical?
I mean, maybe.
Elsewhere, as they head to yet another town in search of the tall man, which, by the way, must be really difficult to describe to locals. I'm looking for a tall man. He goes by tall man. No, he's not on the basketball team. At least I don't think so. Mike mentions to Reggie that he thinks Liz might be in trouble because, well, he dreamt it.
I'm still not so sure she's not just a wet dream.
I mean, she could be both, Reggie. It's the 1980s. Women can have more career paths than they did before. And speaking of, Mike passes out and dreams about the dead naked chick, but now she's clothed and alive and hitchhiking, and whoops!
I picked her up about 50 miles back.
Turns out that dream was true, and her name is Alchemy. You can turn lead into gold!
It's nice to meet you, Mike.
And Reggie gets vulnerable with Mike while they inspect each other's pissing hogs.
Mike, have you looked at her?
And says he's trying to bang her despite his wife dying like a week ago, and also his children, and him being
bald, middle-aged ex-ice cream vendor.
Well, good luck, dude. I guess slip the director a 20 or something, you friggin' skis ball. Hopefully he can bang her at her uncle's bed and breakfast in the nearby town. Out of all the possible combinations of relatives and places, your uncle's B&B is probably the best place to bang. I will never bang a hitchhiker in my third cousin's abandoned doll factory. Not again! Her name was Metallurgy.
I'm still not so sure she's not just a wet dream.
Oh no! Neither the bed and breakfast nor Alchemy look open for business. But both problems have the same solution. Chainsaw. Chainsaw that!
Allow me.
After all, once Alchemy sees Reggie set up his signature hand grenade in a Budweiser can booby trap, you know, like in case any dwarfs with drinking problems break in, she kisses him right on the bald head.
Give it a try, like kissing a peanut.
Hey, quick question. What the hell does Alchemy think they're doing? I get that the town looks rough, but it's not typical to booby trap your Airbnb with hand grenades in beer cans and then sneak out with a quadruple shotgun and a flamethrower in the middle of the night? Did they explain to her what was going on? If so, why is she still here? And if not, why is she still here? He's like, wait here. I'm like, for what? What are you doing? Oh, we're hunting dwarves. I'm going upstairs.
What's the breakfast situation?
Will you wake me when you get back?
After you've killed someone.
I don't know. Look at this dead dude getting his blood sucked out through a hose. It's so rough, you can literally see his eyes fluttering like he's having a phantasm. See, this is why I don't give blood. Liz sees this and also sees a dude pushing the yucky casket, and she hides by just sitting on the floor. It's not the best hiding spot, but I guess it works. He's a tall man. I don't see anything below 2 feet. I'm very tall. Oh, also, the priest is here wandering around and shoving his fingers into tiny coffins and just blessing at random. He gets choked by his Jesus chain and then he scampers away, which is a good call because the tiny coffin was housing 3 evil orbs, including a golden snitch one. Holy shit. They're really upping the ante for the sequel, baby. I mean, there's gotta be so much pee in there. Imagine if Empire Strikes Back had 3 Death Stars, including a golden Death Star.
That's no moon.
Those are balls.
That's why nobody remembers that stupid movie or asked me to recap it. And everybody remembers Phantasm 2 and has asked me to recap it. Do you think if King Midas touched his balls, they'd become golden? Anyway, the priest grabs Liz.
We've got to warn people.
Okay, then warn people. What the hell are you doing here then? Also, it seems like you're complicit in all of this, as evidenced by the drinking and the stabbing of dead bodies, unless that's just some weirdly coincidental side hobby that you have. And that brings up an interesting question, which is, why are all these people working for the tall man? Does he offer dental? I get that the dwarves are probably brainwashed or something, but there's something like 5 other regular-sized people we've seen working for him so far in this movie. There was at least one other one in the last movie, and he had a hat. Do you think the tall man gave him a hat? Maybe he threatens them with something, or maybe they are just drawn to his natural leadership and charisma because he's tall. Or maybe he just like flashes them when he's in his hot chick form. It just feels like this would be a really sucky job, even if he showed you his boobs sometimes. For example, here's the priest getting killed by an orb. That almost never happens at a regular office job. Some of them, but not all of them.
That's a tough day at the orb factory when the priest walks in. Days since last accident just gets erased.
Days since orb drilled a brain. I get that he was probably gonna get a poor performance review on account of him drinking on the job and, stabbing the dead bodies. And I would guess that getting drilled to death by an orb is this company's version of downsizing, but I don't think I'd let it get this far. This is basically what Crack tried to do to me, but I whipped out my quadruple shotgun full of loyal patrons in a dream and I blasted them into utter irrelevancy, baby. Crack was always sending orbs to my house.
They have no need of your services.
You sure about that?
Whoops. Normal height Liz is grabbed and hucked by the tall man, but he ironically doesn't finish the job, so she's chased by a dwarf-sized dwarf. Except not just any dwarf-sized dwarf. Dwarf-sized. Say that 10 times fast. You can't do it. Dwarf-sized dwarf. Dwarf-sized dwarf. Ugh.
Oh my God. Grandma.
Well, she made her choice. Maybe. I don't really know.
I just think you suck.
Sorry, Grandma.
Then Liz escapes. This is also the only way I can ever leave my grandma's house because Grandma developed a killer grip from all the time that she spent toiling away on an extra gravity planet like Goku. My grandma's also an undead evil dwarf slave, and I cannot get out of there because when she grabs my hand, I'm like, Grandma, you're crushing my fingers. Fortunately, my grandma's too old to figure out how to operate golden orbs of death, and I'm not gonna teach her. I don't even want to help you set up the TV.
I still wish I'd have crammed it down your throat.
Finally, Liz runs into the literal man of her dreams.
I love you.
I would say slow down, but you've both been deemed certifiably insane by the government, so I don't think I'd be able to stop you. Also, you can talk to each other telepathically, I guess.
Lips aren't moving.
We're dreaming.
But you're both still clothed in there? Nerds. When I have a dream about Dave and we chat about what we're gonna do for the channel, we are a buck-ass nude.
The most efficient way to dream of each other.
I can't be dreaming of clothes.
I prayed so hard that you'd
They all head back to the house and light a fire in the fireplace with a flamethrower because they haven't had a lot of great chances to actually kill anything with the flamethrower. And it sucks to have a flamethrower but not like use your handmade flamethrower, so they're using it for this. It's just like how it sucks to not be able to show off your boobies, at least if you're alchemy here.
Well, I don't think we ought to wait around this place just waiting for
big ass titties.
I do think it's interesting that she clearly refuses to actually kiss disgusting Reggie and never does more than peck at his bald head.
God, Reg, I love your head.
Like kissing a peanut.
What's more, she's so obviously still wearing underwear and he's so obviously completely fully clothed that you can't help but notice that she's just pounding his crotch with her ass. Just utterly flattening that hog. Like she's making butt mashed tenderloin, am I right? But there's a noise, so both of the lover boys run downstairs, thankfully without impaling each other on their friggin' boners. But Liz is somehow still grabbed by the tall man and thrown in the hearse because with how much he paid for that thing, there's no way he's not gonna just like use it for everything.
That's very practical.
They chase him down, but before they can leave, Reggie is like, hey, thanks for the sex that we didn't actually have, but which I will tell people about in graphic made-up detail. We should hang out again someday, if I'm able.
What's that supposed to mean if you're able?
He's saying that he doubts his penis works anymore after the number you did on it. You smushed down his dick like how tall man smushes down, entire people. He's effectively a eunuch. He better learn how to scheme, because that's the only thing he'll ever be good at now. Good thing he has a steady supply of dwarves around.
You're a bald, middle-aged ex-ice cream vendor.
I'm not entirely sure what you're suggesting.
They catch up to the tall man, and Reggie hesitates for a second, presumably debating whether exploding the hearse might also hurt Liz in some way.
Well, shut the f*** up!
Well, never mind. Whoopsies, goodbye car. Liz is taken to a crematorium, which actually is sort of a relief because presumably that means they won't turn her into a labor dwarf. And weirdly, the guy is smashing the teeth of the last crematee with a hammer, but like, just throw them away. You're spilling a lot of perfectly good ash with your hammer strikes. I don't think the family is gonna notice that not enough of the ash seems to have come from teeth. Did Grandma have way more teeth than the ash implies that would be in here? Doesn't seem like enough of the ash is teeth-like. Doesn't matter, Liz kicks him in the dick until he falls into the fire himself and she escapes. Ooh. And Alchemy should maybe write that move down for the next time that she hooks up with Reggie. Ha! He'll love that even more. He's like, hey girl, why don't you kick me in the dick and throw me in the fire? Man, there's really almost no context for this movie if you haven't seen the first one. There's barely any context even if you have seen the first, but still. These movies are confusing and for no clear reason.
Let's go kick some ass.
Oh, you're right. Why am I complaining about plot in an action movie? Did I complain about all the zombie dwarf slaves from outer space in Rambo? Of course not. Did I wonder what the point of pouring hydrochloric acid into this piss stuff that I guess they used to resurrect dead people is when they did it in the transporter? Don't be ridiculous. They're action movies. You don't think too hard about what they're pouring into their piss jars.
I didn't know if you like coffee or tea, so I made
Let's just see him try to reanimate anybody that's involved with this shit.
Hey, what do you think this entirely random bullshit on the wall is?
This must be the doorway to his world.
That is definitely a possibility.
What's it look like to you?
Sushi glory hole.
Liz is still running around and she's almost killed by an orb. But she's saved by Mike, hooray. Oh hey, they both hate dying. Just so much in common. They are attacked by another guy. But it's fine, he gets orbed because I cannot stress how unsafe this work environment is. This is why tall man uses slave labor. They run and hide from the orb that can apparently slam through doors now, and it uses lasers to search for them and to explode a rat.
I have a very bad feeling about this.
And wow, it basically is a Death Star. And they run further, but are jumped by the one-handed slave employee of the month who gets orbed so hard that the thing gets stuck in his mouth. I had that happen to a friend of mine, actually. They needed a whole team of surgeons to get his ball out of that mouth.
Really? Like for real?
No.
I was about to say, like, I didn't see that that episode of The Pit where the magic ball is stuck in the guy.
The guy with a ball stuck in his mouth. Robbie's like, I can't deal with this right now. I can't. I'm so sad. I don't even want to be here anymore. I'm going to drive my motorcycle off a cliff. I don't want to deal with any magic orbs.
That's it. I'm taking my motorcycle.
Langdon, you can suck my butt. It's hard to be a medical professional today.
I don't know that I want to.
Elsewhere, Reggie is attacked by another dude. And they end up in a chainsaw duel that ends naturally with the other guy getting sawed in the dick. Man, dicks are taking a beating in this movie. Chainsaw that! Then he quadruple shotguns some dwarfs. Big day for Reggie. Oh, speaking of, Alchemy's car breaks down, but she steals an empty hearse. So problem solved. Don't mind if I do. What a terrible car to steal, because it's not like there are a lot of hearses. Pretty easy to report that stolen. Reggie reunites with the gang and they peel the hand-stuck orb off the door because I guess it doesn't work while actively embedded in flesh. They stuff that ball in the keyhole. Again, just like my buddy did.
There it goes.
And they end up back in the White Room with the poles and the barrels. And the tall man shows up to throw people around, and Mike and Reggie almost get lost on the planet where a barrel baby is actively being born. Oh, that's so sweet, so cute. But oh no, they escape the planet because I guess they hate the miracle of childbirth. Meanwhile, tall man tries to inject Liz with the tainted piss, but he gets bald.
Suck on this.
And the ball squirts out a bunch of the tall man's piss blood, but it doesn't slow him down. And some weird critter claw comes out of his head hole because once again, my man hates writing the end of his scripts. He's like, we gotta get out of here, okay? He's got a claw in his head hole, he's pissing blood, he's blooding piss. It's just whatever, get it done. But then our heroes inject the tall man with the tainted piss and he melts. Once again, proving that the only way to stop a bad guy with piss is a good guy with tainted piss. That's why I always make sure I am locked and loaded. I have to pee right now and it's poisonous. And then Reggie sets everything on fire. They wander outside and are picked up by the Nutcracker herself, except whoop! She pulls her hair off and is very clearly evil. But then she does the world and neighborhood kids a favor by killing Reggie.
It's only a dream.
It's not.
Dang it! And now, I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street series, despite having watched the entire thing twice and regretting it twice, but I do appreciate that it does a much better job of explaining what is real and what is not real. Obviously, it is also extremely convoluted, and there are often dreams within dreams, but people almost never wake up in these movies. They just sometimes, at the end of the whole thing, go, was that a dream? It was. No. It's just sort of stupid, and that's saying something, because Freddy, that's about as stupid as it gets.
We'll see, bitch. Hello, boy.
Ever try vanilla?
The tall man sits and plays with one of his balls, which feels weird without first having to sign up for his OnlyFans. If you consume online content, you should always support the artist, be it an evil tall man playing with his evil balls or a handsome YouTuber recapping terrible movies so that you don't have to watch them.
I can feel him watching me. Play with my balls.
This ball, I think it lets him see, I guess, Mike in the first movie and then Mike in the second movie.
Somehow he keeps coming back.
Somehow.
Evidently, every time the tall man dies, another version of him respawns through the portal from his hacked server planet or whatever, and he grabs the old dead body and takes it back to the planet before he gets IP banned, I guess.
Because nothing is ever as it seems.
Oh no.
Eventually, we return to the end of the second movie, but with the Mike actor from the first movie, and it turns out that Reggie isn't full dead, because it is just bad news upon a convoluted, weird-ass story with this franchise. And even though Mike and Liz explode, only Liz is actually killed and eaten by a dwarf. All those visions, and none of them gave you a heads up about that? I don't know. But Mike just passed out from the explosion. It's called explosion-triggered narcolepsy, and we need to raise more awareness of it.
Come on, Mike, wake up.
Reggie finds his quadruple-barreled shotgun on the ground and he kills a dwarf. Hopefully it was an evil one made by the tall man and not just a random little person or a kid doing a Halloween thing. I can tell you from experience that you do not want to confuse those. The cops are not cool about it. Then he kills more dwarves in the trees. And David, this point I think you can sue for your life rights. I mean, they did change a few things, like they gave the main character pants, but other than that, this is basically your life.
Sorry.
The tall man shows up holding Liz's severed head for hopefully occult evil reasons, not Dave evil reasons. But so Reggie threatens to explode himself and Mike.
I don't want him in pieces.
So the tall man leaves while he's ahead. Like Liz's head.
Damn you.
That's apparently because he can wait until a time when Mike isn't about to be exploded. Good luck, idiot. Mike is always in danger of being exploded as long as he hangs out with frickin' Reggie. Although strangely, Reggie never pulls this move again, despite it being the only actual leverage over the tall man that he or anyone ever seems to have in this movie. He should strap a bomb vest to Mike that's connected to both of their heart rates or something. Or just keep an emergency beef and cheddar in their pocket so that they could show him that they're serious. It's like having a cyanide pill in your tooth, having a beef and cheddar in your pocket that you pull out and be like, I'll do it.
Dr. Robbie would not like to see that.
Doctor just shit all over the pit. I don't know. The point is, it just feels like we're blowing past some extremely valuable information. No pun intended. Like blowing, like blowing up, like exploding. So comatose Mike now rests in the hospital while tall man inspects an orb, which apparently has a brain in it, which, fun fact, is also how they make smartphones. I mean, they usually use hamster brains for those. Otherwise, it'd be unethical.
It's all right. It's natural.
The nurse, who is terrible at her job, both the character and the actor, she tries to usher Mike towards death.
You see the light now up ahead, don't you? Go to it.
Oh, thank you.
It's fine. Just die. Just go ahead and die. Come on, die. I gotta get home in 10 minutes. Mike is now in a liminal space between life and the great unknown, and he runs into, I think, Jody?
Yeah. It's me, little brother.
You know, the guy who died, I thought they said a normal death, which caused you to dream all this weird stuff to process the grief. But then the weird stuff turned out to maybe not be a dream, and Jody's normal death may not have been a normal death, but really it was a part of a dream that wasn't really a dream. And now, anyway, Jody's back, kind of.
I'm here to take care of you and show you the way.
But not really. You know, does that all make sense? Great. Well, let me know if you want to, I don't know, get a theoretical beer sometime and catch up. I heard about this great brewery on an extra gravity desert planet somewhere. It's only accessible via wormhole, and the staff's all undead dwarf slaves, and the beer, wow, is it hoppy. The IBUs are crazy. Because again, did Jody die in an accident? And if so, did none of this happen still? Or did he die in an accident and then everything happened? Did he die in an accident unrelatedly? I don't know. That's grief, though. Grief is confusing. I'm worried that this shirt is just too formless. You and I have both been working out, Dave. We're a lot skinnier than we used to be. We're not emphasizing that enough on the channels, how sexy we look.
I don't know if we're quite like pool boy material yet.
If I saw me in small shorts trying to fish dead birds out of a pool, I'd be like, maybe I would throw it all away. Maybe I do like the taste of chlorine.
Trying to get this dead squirrel out.
There's a dead dwarf in the pool. They're so dense. What are they, toiling away on some extra gravity rich planet?
So you gotta really throw your back into it.
Which only tempts the mistress of the house even further. That's what I'm saying, is we should be playing that up more. Maybe we don't need all these patrons if we just seduce one house mistress. But then Jody sends Mike back to life, but Mike wakes up to the nurse gone full savage.
You're right.
But it's fine. Mike stabs her in the neck, which coincidentally is also Randy Savage's only weakness.
I've soared with the eagles and I've
And even though she goops right into Reggie's mouth, she does in fact die, and it's revealed that she was being controlled by an evil orb. Obviously. I'm not sure the primary advantage of attacking Mike with the body of an old lady nurse when regular orbs have brain drills built right into them, but I have heard Dave say that he'd like to enter an old lady nurse someday, so maybe that's just a thing for some people in some orbs. It's kind of like if you built a Death Star and you were like, what if we put the Death Star inside like a really huge old woman? I feel like that part's unnecessary. What if instead of shooting Alderaan with a laser, an old lady just like swatted at it? They heroically leave the hospital after killing the innocent possessed nurse, maybe, and poof!
What the hell are you doing here? You're dead.
So what else is new?
First of all, hi to you, Mr. Rude. And yes, you're not wrong, but you forgot about the effects of the juice.
I haven't got the juice to stay long, and you've got to get out of here fast.
Tell me about the juice a little bit.
Yeah, what is the juice? And then, of course, Jody turns into an orb, which clearly means that the juice was pee.
He can't touch me.
Why not?
Piss boy.
Then the tall man shows up and Jody talks a big Orby game about how he's gonna fight him.
I can't stop him, but maybe I can slow him down.
He didn't.
But he's instantly cooked by the tall man, and Reggie gets blasted, and Mike is like floated away.
You want me? Why?
So I'm glad you're back, Jody. You're just as useless in orb form as you were in grave form. A true Deus Ex Machina. I will say this is really turning into a classic T2 situation, right? Now some orbs have been reprogrammed for good? What? It really makes you think. Mostly about a better movie, but still, you're using your noggin. If you're using your noggin, you're not wasting your time. The next day, Reggie wakes up and he talks to Jody Ball for a bit.
Holtzville.
And I guess together they decide to go to Holtzville, Idaho to look for Mike. Like most plot forwarding choices in this series, I have no idea how they came to that conclusion. A tall guy floated our boy through a wormhole. I bet that wormhole led to Holtzville, Idaho. But that's what they decide, and they're gonna stick to it, by golly. Even if that town has been budgetarily conveniently abandoned after a toxic spill. But hey, towns, just like people, are resilient.
You don't want to be going up there.
The butthole.
Upon arrival, Holtzville becomes Hotsville as horny-ass Reggie feasts his horny-ass eyes upon a butt.
Lord above.
But then he's literally whacked by two other members of the Fine Behind's wacky gang, and he's hucked in the trunk of his own car to be taken to, I guess, somewhere else to be killed. Why not kill Reggie right there? The town's abandoned harder than Reggie's hairline. Nobody's around. I just answered my own question. I only like to kill people when I know somebody's watching. I have to have an audience. They head to some abandoned house that they intend to loot, but oh boy, did they pick the wrong house, baby.
Hello.
This one's been home alone. Oh, to shit.
It's just a kid.
Yeah, just a kid with a tomahawk. And also just a kid with an easily avoidable frisbee with a bunch of razor blades stuck onto it. And don't forget that he's also just a kid with a hole in his front yard. Oh my God, I bet it's a mining shaft. You gotta watch out for those. He also has a gun in his hands.
What's going on out there?
So after murdering everybody, this kid lets Reggie out of the trunk and regales him with great tales of sadness.
Your tall man got my family.
Specifically, his dad was killed by the tall man, and the funeral people sucked at their job.
They forgot to cover him up.
It's just a mistake, honey.
And then the kid, Tim's dead dad, grabbed his alive mom. And the tall man drove them away, and Tim only barely escaped by exploding out the back window of the hearse that he was hiding in. And this is like basically the plot of Annie, if you haven't seen that movie.
It's the hard knock.
Also, hey, how much money is the tall man spending on fixing all these damned exploded hearse windows? People are always shooting and or jumping through them.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like they're setting up a found family dynamic with Tim and Reggie due to how Tall Man and Short dwarves got both of their loved ones. But based on what we're actually seeing right here, I think Tim should be playing the role of the dad. Reggie could honestly finally probably learn how to become a man from that boy. That boy's a man. That boy could be my dad.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'd better go inside because lurkers come out at night. I'm not sure if that's Tim's name for the dwarves or for gangs of big-butted looters or for eye-wielding spy orbs. Regardless, lurkers, they're probably bad, okay? And indeed, the next day, all the dead bodies and their car are gone.
Lurkers got him.
Probably. Maybe. Shit. Reggie's like, well, that was a really great story. Expertly told. But I'm gonna go free Mike from, like wherever the hell he is. Maybe Scottsville, Virginia. We're just picking small towns. And Tim's like, can I tag along? It's obviously not safe for you to be left unsupervised. And Reggie's like, sure, but let me stop at this house to ask for directions. And by that, I mean pay this random woman to adopt you. Oh, shit. He snuck back in the car. Oh, well. Hey, why don't we just go in this mausoleum? Maybe Mike's in there. Maybe they have a Starbucks. I mean, I need a pick-me-up. They don't have a Starbucks. But what's the next best pick-me-up after a grande pike place with cream?
The fish girlfriend.
That's right, an attack by two militant lesbians, followed by a separate attack from an evil flying orb that brain drills one of the lesbians and gets nunchucked to the ground by the other one before being shot up by a child with a gun.
What the f was that?
The best part of waking up. The first chain that's going to offer this will become a $1 trillion company overnight. The surviving nunchuck-wielding lady named Rocky declines to join this motley crew of a pervert and his father-child partner, so they leave.
Lots of luck, baby.
Am I, not understanding how many mausoleums there are in the world? Does every small town have, a mausoleum, you enter and all the bodies are in, filing cabinet, in the wall stuff? I've never seen one in my life. And yet, Tim's allowed to drive because he's the dad. And most dads, they get to drive, except for me, because my wife gets car sick. I always hate leaving the church parking lot, and I'm in the passenger seat, like a little sickly Victorian child, waving at the other dads driving their Ford Raptors. I'm in my Kia minivan with a cracked windshield, and my wife's driving, and I'm begging her to give me a piece of gum. Yeah! Except, I guess Reggie resumes driving duties at some point.
I don't have a clue which way to go.
But by that point, they're already lost as hell. Now, granted, I have no idea where they even think they're going. What is their plan? But it's fine because Jody Ball, I guess he has the answers that they seek.
But I hope that ball's got a better sense of direction than mine do.
Oh, well, apparently not. Because there's Rocky on the side of the road. How would that be even remotely possible unless A, they just drove in a big circle, a big orb, or B, Rocky can run 80 miles an hour, or C, Rocky can transform into a floating lesbian orb that travels 80 miles per hour?
What's up?
Who knows? She's like, I don't want to be with you guys. And Rocky now decides, okay, sure, I'll join. Why not? Nothing's changed. But also, I got as bored as the audience over the past 3 minutes. So they all stop for the night at an apparently Christian-themed motel. And Reggie's offered 2 room options, double twin beds or a single queen bed. And like a French revolutionary manning the guillotine on October 16th, 1793, Reggie says,
give me that queen.
This is an educational channel. But of course, Reggie, as a committed pervert, is clearly trying to have sex with Rocky. As such, he forces Tiny Tim to sleep in the car, which honestly is kind of a win for Tim. And Reggie forces his horny body onto Rocky's unwilling one.
Don't with me.
Not even a little?
Undeterred, Reggie continues with his sexual assault, that little scamp.
Ever try vanilla?
Ah, good racially charged line.
Dairy products give me gas.
Ah, damn, we're back to farting again? Vanilla isn't a dairy product. So I guess you don't need to worry that having sex with Reggie will make you fart? I mean, vomit, sure.
Come on.
All right.
Oh, okay, well, I guess that logic works for Rocky. Oh, no. She handcuffed him to the bed. Well, how's Reggie gonna molest her now? It is tough being a pervert. It's just like Dave always makes it look so effortless, but I think that's just because he's skilled. I don't know why our main character is sexually assaulting a woman, but It's bold. Side note, how is Reggie paying for all these assault rooms and adoptive mothers? How much was he charging for that damn ice cream?
Dairy products give me
untold wealth.
I don't know. The next day, they finally catch a break and watch as a long line of hearses driven by weirdos passes right in front of them.
Something tells me we're on the right track.
They follow them to another budget-friendly abandoned town where they're attacked by a bunch of full-sized dudes.
Damn grave diggers.
So not lurkers? Like, who are lurkers? Why have we spent more time trying to get Reggie laid in this series than trying to explain any of its mysteries? I don't know, bedtime.
Somebody should stand watch.
Don't worry, I circled back around.
No need for anybody to keep watch. Reggie, the ice cream pervert, doubled back. So no way could they be tracked by magical undead creatures from another planet and or another dimension.
They would never expect me to loop around.
I hit a cul-de-sac pretty fast. My point is it's totally fine to let your guard down. In fact, you should show those space zombie dwarf slaves how unafraid you are of them by tying yourselves up before bed. Very comfortable and safe, Reggie then revenge bangs Rocky in his dreams while Jody gets blue orbs watching.
Don't move.
Reggie inexplicably doesn't finish. I want you to know that the movie explicitly makes it clear he does not finish. He still's got more in the tank. So anyway, he follows Jody to some other part of his mindscape so they can gird their swollen loins for a dream heist. Okay, Inception. Well, first they go through one of those portals.
Think of it as a doorway.
I never really thought of it as anything else, but thank you. I mean, Dave thought of it as a glory hole, but he thinks that about almost everything.
Sushi glory hole. I'm afraid of these things.
Sorry. What else would I have thought of it as? Is there anything in existence that is door-like that you could say, think of it like a door, and you would have otherwise had no way of understanding what it was until you made that metaphor? Can you imagine being so confused about something that you don't get what it is until you are told that it's like a door? And you're like, oh, now it makes sense. Doors are what they are. Whoa. Inside, they find Mike in a box. Jody balls up and frees his brother, and they run away, somehow bringing Mike through another portal at their campsite. Think of it like a door.
I'm not getting it.
I don't get it. The tall man almost comes through the portal that is much like a door, but just like the drive-through cashiers at Taco Bell, Reggie closes the window just in time to cut off the tall man's hands.
How you doing?
Which can apparently turn into evil critters of unknown P levels. I think these are the idle hands that are the devil's playthings, you know, that I keep hearing about. It's not really a metaphor, but Dave also slams the door on the Taco Bell cashier in the drive-thru and their hands get cut off. Because you don't have to pay if they're writhing in pain and squirting blood.
And you get hands.
And I'd like a number 1 and 2 hands. After they deal with that and they drive away, the dead gang shows up, still looking like shit, but very clearly reanimated and ready to re-party. So hooray, chase scene. Oh, shit. Ah, these action films. So action, so film. The bad guys crash all to shit after running over the dead lady with the butt, which acts like a speed butt. And of course, when our heroes hit her speed butt, it friggin' blows their front tires off. So they have to wander back into town to hide in the mortuary or the mausoleum or the whatever. You know how every town has one of those? You ever hit a speed butt so hard that it just blows your tires?
This BBL really f***ed up my axle. Yeah, that's on the insurance report. The BBL totaled my car.
They're like, I get it. We get this a lot. Think of it like a door. But here's the thing, they're hiding there because the last place the tall man would ever look is a mausoleum. It's like trying to hide from Dave in a salad dressing factory.
I say we find that big mortuary you were telling me about. Hole up there.
The closer we are to danger, the farther we are from it.
Inside, they discover a big cryo tub with a bunch of floating heads in it, which I can't believe this tiny town had people rich and crazy enough to get cryogenically frozen. But also, they were so poor that they just threw all the heads into the same bucket? Like, what is that cutoff? Of like, I'm rich enough and crazy enough to get cryogenically frozen, but I don't have enough money to get my own bucket?
The super saver plan.
Yeah, it's just a Groupon. No, that's not the important part, apparently. We're gonna do a quick retcon and pretend that the weird look that the tall man gave Mike back in the first movie while walking past an ice cream truck somehow means that his weakness is cold?
He doesn't like it when it gets cold.
Or at the very least, his weakness might be brain freezes? Sure, why not? That was him going, I'm uncomfortable. with this. No thank you. Too cold.
It's like when I walk by like a truck full of poison.
If I just look at you like this, that means I don't want to eat the poison in the truck. Think of it like a door. I'm sorry. I still don't get it. I don't know how to use it right.
Why the hell didn't you ever tell me that?
Armed with this new knowledge, Mike takes a nap with his brother's ball on his forehead. I don't even remember that ever gets explained. He's just like, I'm tired. Give me that ball.
Applied directly to the forehead.
I need to know why.
And his brother Ball explains that the tall man is
passing an army to conquer dimensions.
And to do this, he takes dead people, shoves their brain in a ball, and makes their body shitty and short.
Turns their bodies into drones and their minds into killers.
I'm sorry, I was wrong. Turns out I don't want to know what's going on. So it's not gravity that makes them short. It's the process by which he removes their brain and puts it in a ball and then shrinks the body to make it feral.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like a...
like a door.
Now I get
it. Oh, okay. Have you ever seen Phantasm? It's kind of like a door. Think of it like a door. I want to go back to the glorious past of a few days ago when I hadn't watched these movies and didn't know anything.
Welcome home, boy.
What? What do you mean, welcome home? Actually, on that, why does the tall man want Mike specifically anyway? Why does he want him out of that flesh and into something more orb-like? Like, I get that that's his thing, but why does he so specifically want to do it to Mike? Tim basically does everything that 13-year-old Mike did when Tall Man first met him, except he does those things well. Why not grab him? I get that Mike's a snack, but who the hell knows? But Reggie, for his part, gets blown by the dead chick for a bit before suddenly deciding that he's not into pervert shit. I guess that's what happens now that he has a strong father figure like Tim in his life. The other two dead guys attack Rocky and Tim, and hey, why aren't any of them dwarves and or orbs?
Bitch! Hands off my pussy!
The 90s were such a beautiful time. Tim uses Jody Ball to free himself from his restraints, and then he kills a guy with it/him while Reggie kills the other guy.
Catch this.
And then they all stab the tall man with the cold-ass poker, so stop brain drilling Mike. And then they lock the tall man in the freezer, but his brain ball flies out and the girl zombie attacks again, but she gets balled to death. And all this kerfuffling causes Mike to bleed, piss, and realize, oh my God, he has a ball in his head. So maybe he's also a rogue ball head like Jody or something? I don't know. But like in Dave's unpublished manga that the government ordered to be destroyed, he's got balls for eyes. His manga was called Ball-Eyed Guy, and it was gross. Dave, can you believe that Mike had a ball in his head? This readjusts the entire power structure of the Phantasm multiverse. Whatever The Rock said when he became Black Adam. All of the magic orbs have people's brains in them.
Oh.
And all of the bodies have no brains. Like all the dwarves have no brains. And yet, Mike has an orb in his head.
So he's got a brain and an orb brain.
Or it's just his brain in an orb in his head. But why, I don't know. And why it doesn't cause him to think or act any differently. I mean, it sucks to realize that there's a evil orb in your head, but if it doesn't really affect your daily life, I mean, you know, there are worse things you could get.
Stay away from me.
I was already planning to. Reggie catches the tall ball in a plunger. Because again, we're at the point of the movie where the filmmakers, we all just give up. We don't care anymore. And they dunk the ball in the cryo tank, which is officially the world's coldest known example of teabagging. Guinness Book of World Records said nobody has ever teabagged so coldly. And that's it. Bye, Rocky.
I'm out of here, now.
Except, well, it escapes. The ball does, and Reggie gets suspended by like a dozen balls.
Run, damn it!
Too late, Timmy. Great, we finally got an interesting character, and they're gone.
Don't believe everything you see.
I literally don't. I don't believe any of this bullshit, nor do I believe that there are two more of these. Just shoot a semi-sentient ball through my brain and be done with it. Yeah.
It's never over.
Whew. I am getting cold. Good thing I have, oh my God, oh, no. No! Oh, no!
This isn't a honeymoon, is it?
We begin as we often do, with me bored, and with a graveyard, and with headlights, and with another mausoleum, and with a tall man and a mic driving and remembering stuff, which I'm pretty sure covers the totality of what a character can do. I mean, you got you walking, you have you not walking, you have you remembering. This one scene is a microcosmos of like all cinema.
Where he came from, nobody knows.
Besides hot ladies, the tall man is also known to sometimes take the form of Cotton-Eyed Joe. Where did he come from? And also, where did he go? Where did he come from? The tall man.
Oh yeah, I forgot that part of the song.
Spirited off the dead to a place.
Mike further explains to nobody that the tall man's been killing towns and stuff.
My name is Reggie.
Oh, why would he be narrating if we're watching Mike? I don't know. But did you know that Reggie no longer does ice cream? Let me rephrase that. He no longer sells ice cream. He may still have sex with it.
I was an ice cream
But anyways, these days he's mostly a soldier, currently suspended in air by more pee-filled balls than Dave on a Friday night. Like, you know, like a soldier. Thank you for your service. He makes zero mention of anybody besides Mike and Jody. Sorry, Tim, Liz, Rocky, and me. Literally, who else has watched every single one of these frickin' movies? I'm basically the main character at this point.
Small man.
Hey, I'm Jordan-sized. How dare you? Tall man decides not to kill Reggie because then we wouldn't have a movie. And we gotta have a movie. And besides, there's a final game afoot. And this movie now has a teensy tiny little CG ball budget. Presumably just enough to purchase the Robo-Ball assets from Dave's RoboCop porn parody. Just the ball part. It's mostly 99% the same, but he added CG's big swinging metal balls onto RoboCop. Didn't sell great. It got sued hard. Oh my God.
I am broke because that was a lot of money.
That's why you were selling your Robo-Ball assets to the Phantasm IV production. When you take all of these thoughts into your head, you're like, that is more than enough reason to justify us returning to this series for Phantasm Oblivion. You know, because Latin. Is that also why Elder Scrolls 4 is Oblivion? You know what looks like it has an I and a V is Oblivion. Isn't that like so freaking sick, dude? Oblivion? Elder Scrolls Oblivion!
Take great care how you play.
We've got a burglar!
Alrighty, so Mike's still driving and flashing back, and this may surprise you, but the movie's budget was so incredibly small, they had to rely on several deleted scenes from the first movie instead of flashing back to something actually interesting. Like, for example, this scene of Child Mike robbing Reggie, and Reggie was cool with it. Wow, what a flashback. Remember that time that he had ice cream?
What the hell was that?
Hey, there's the tall man running over a dog. Guess they still had the budget for that. I hope that was a deleted scene and not just something they accidentally caught on camera and decided to use because they were desperate. Dave actually told me yesterday that dogs are very cheap to purchase. They're easy to run over and they actually taste great with ketchup. And I was like, did you work on Oblivion?
Sorry.
Oh no, there's something scary in the back of Mike's car. And also in the front of Mike's car. Then the tall man's back there and also a dwarf. And boy, is it a scary party in this car.
This experience may seem strange to you.
It's called a soup kitchen. It's pretty rough stuff.
At least you can use the carpool lane. And one nice thing about being attacked by a dwarf while you're driving is that you can get in the HOV. But there is one bad thing happening, which is that the brakes and the wheels, like this franchise, they no longer work.
Is the steering wheel fly off? I'm toast.
The coach will drive itself.
Okay, gonna hop in the casket now. Bye. What does he think that is? Like an escape pod? What is he doing? Reggie, meanwhile, fixes up his car for a bit of runtime padding until Jody Ball floats up.
Hey, Reg.
He's like, dude, you should help me find Mike. You know, the plot of like basically every single movie. But for once, Reggie refuses the call to adventure.
If you think I'm gonna help you find your brother Mike, you're wrong.
Oh no.
Even despite this random ass clip of all three of them hanging out as adults in, I guess, an alternate future where none of them ever had sex or got a job. Just kidding, that's this future. Except then Reggie agrees to help. And I'll be honest, I either completely missed what made him change his mind or nothing made him change his mind. And either way, I refuse to rewind 20 seconds to find out. I'm sure I'll survive without the sacred knowledge. Maybe he just had a vision of like, what if Mike was old and also like a boy with us? You know, like one of the boys? I gotta get to that future. I love when one of my boys has a metal ball brain. One of the boys is a ball. And then Reggie, you know, is like balls for brains because he's trying to have sex with everyone. So they're the ball boys.
But they're not.
Reggie is almost immediately pulled over by a cop for a DUI, driving under improperly explained motivation. And then the cop, like my attention, almost immediately disappears, I guess. Reggie eventually pulls a reverse Uno and investigates the cop, only to find an alive dead dude in his trunk. And then he's attacked by the cop, who I guess Reggie never noticed was undead or possibly just a maniac suffering from CTE. You can never tell with cops. Check out my Maniac Cop videos for more details on that. And they fight for like pretty much forever with weapons, but also with words. Blow me.
Oh, thank you.
After some time, Reggie uses a road flare to blow up the whole car. Wow. And then later, Reggie sees a hot woman at a rest stop who's clearly lost. And to Reggie, this is like Dave finding a pitcher of ice cold water after being lost in the desert for a week. Because his first thought is to put his penis in it. Dave's like, oh, it's been so long.
That actually would probably be quite refreshing.
And it makes the water more palatable when you eventually do drink it.
Big on the eventually.
Except for the first time ever in his perverted life, he doesn't immediately try to coerce this random woman into pecking at his bald head while she crushes his nuts with her ass. He asks every lady to do that, and they only say yes about once per movie. Or he dreams them saying yes. Reggie's either grown as a man thanks to Tim's parenting last movie, or he's okay relegating her to the spank bank, which is in its own way kind of some character growth. Regardless, good for him, I guess. Better for this girl though. Bad for her lawyer, however, because this was a layup court case waiting to happen. He could have bought a yacht so big that he could put like a smaller yacht in it, you know, with all the money that he was gonna make off of Reggie, thanks to what he was about to usually would like to do to her. Wow. Except inexplicably, even though Reggie leaves first, he ends up passing her on the road. There's so many weird things in this movie. Why do they always have to just travel at inexplicable speeds along America's highways? Whoever leaves first is always somehow behind whoever leaves second. I don't get it. Anyway, they share a moment before she completely flips and explodes her car while trying to avoid a turtle who is moving as slow as this plot.
I thought cars only blow like that in the movies.
Reggie saves her, and that plus the fact that her clothes are burned means that now, legally, he's allowed to sexually harass her for the rest of the movie. Finders creepers. I don't make the rules, man. Dave does.
Cause she got a great ass!
Thanks for pulling my ass out of the fire.
It's all such a Reggie-centric series of events. I'd be wondering if I wasn't dreaming some perversion of a Phantasm vision. I'm just saying, if my channel suddenly got 1 million subscribers overnight and like 20 of them showed up to my house to offer help with cooking and cleaning and, you know, wrangling Dave, I'd be deeply suspicious that I wasn't actually awake and I was having a dream.
Haven't you wondered why you haven't seen anyone all day?
Anyway, Reggie brings Jennifer.
I can call you Jen, right?
To a broken down motel that may have been where the cast actually slept during filming, and he offers to break in and share a bed with her, even though presumably they could easily break into 2 separate rooms, or at a minimum, a room with 2 separate beds. This place is fully abandoned and they have 2 sleeping bags.
This isn't a honeymoon, is it?
Granted, she inexplicably changes in front of Reggie, constantly popping out from behind the see-through curtain, wearing naught but undies and a hand bra to hide her 2 orbs. And Reggie can only, he can only take so much. He's only a simple perverted man.
So, anyway...
Take me to Pleasure Town.
Sweet dreams.
But she says no, which means that, okay, good. I guess she doesn't have a concussion. I guess that means that Reggie's just gonna have to bang her in his dreams again. Ugh, can't an ugly old pervert catch a dang break? He's like the Job of hornballs.
Yeah, but I don't...
Reggie wakes up in a graveyard and there's a weird mic there for a second.
Bye.
And then Reggie returns to, I guess, the real world, but Jen's sleeping in the sexiest possible pose and her tits they're going crazy.
Something's going wrong with my boobs.
So he, of course, answers the call to perversion and unbuttons her shirt while she's asleep still, because this movie asks some profound questions about whether the hero of a horror franchise can also be a giant piece of shit.
You want to get it on, Reggie?
But it's fine, because it turns out that her tits, they really are evil orbs of death. And they pop out and they fly around the room. And I mean, this may not be their honeymoon, but it sure sounds a lot like my honeymoon. We watched Phantasm IV during my honeymoon. We reckon that if we did that, then anything life threw at us later, we'd be able to deal with it, you know? It'd be no big deal compared to us blowing our stupid ass honeymoon on watching Phantasm IV. No. Also, just like my honeymoon, Reggie's forced to kill one of the orbs with a sledgehammer and then kill the other one that is drilling his hand by playing a single perfect note from a tuning fork.
Oh, my freaking ears!
Which I think was technically kind of introduced as a possibility in the first movie. And also he has to kill the woman herself with a sledgehammer.
Sorry, baby.
And my wife has never forgiven me for all that. I was like, I don't understand. We just saw all of this in Phantasm IV together, and we both agreed that it seemed awesome. I don't get why you're not into it. I smashed her orbs with a hammer, and then I killed her with a hammer, and she was like, mad at me? She's never forgiven me for that. Ugh, I need a moment to collect my emotions. So let's see what Mike's been up to during Reggie's sexual hammer time.
Today I was able to conjure one of his dimensional
At some point, Mike's self-driving, apparently Tesla-made hearse crashed somewhere in the desert. But he wants to go on the record that he does not blame Elon Musk, okay? There has to be like some insurance agent somewhere that's like, we never have hearses crash, and yet over the past few years, there have been so many crashed hearses. What is happening? These things are supposed to be easy money. People are usually not crashing the hearse.
They're meant to be driven slowly.
Yeah, very careful. How do I keep getting so many insurance claims for hearses with gunshot holes in them and exploded from gunfire? But whatever. Mike gets out and wanders around for quite a while as we see scampering Jawas. And oh, is that a Tusken Raider sighting? Look out, where there's one, there's many. He then opens the back seat coffin, finds a suit on a hanger in there, and decides, you know what, I'm just gonna write up a will for what? This smashed hearse? The coffin? Custody of his friggin' brother ball? Does he own anything? Does he have a gold tooth?
I don't yet know.
I don't know, but he writes it to Reggie while dwarves watch through the windows. He also briefly dreams about being experimented on by the tall man during the Civil War. Man, these movies are just nonstop sex dreams now.
Oh yeah, daddy!
The next day, I guess, Mike wanders back into the desert and he sees some portal poles, so it's unclear if this is actually happening in real life or if it's just another sex dream. Dave is always telling me about these dreams where he wanders into a desert just covered in dicks. He's like, is this actually happening to me right now?
I need to scamper through this field of dicks.
Run my hands through the tall dick grass. He then comes up with a plan that I should have enacted way before getting to the fourth movie of this franchise.
First time.
I can't believe I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, why didn't I think of it?
While hanging, Mike has another flashback of literally lynching the tall man, I guess? Is that how he got so tall? They just stretch him out.
Cut me down, boy.
No! And now they begin a negotiation.
I won't hurt you.
You're killing the world!
You both made some really good points.
Okay, yeah, I could see both sides on this. I'm a Phantasm centrist. But then the tall man says he'll leave and not hurt anybody. So Mike, an idiot, is like, that's incredible. Wow, I'm getting everything that I asked for. I guess I'll cut you down so we can get to that pony and the ice cream that you also promised that you would give me.
I'll go away and I won't ever come back.
You will?
Yes.
That is what you call the out of the deal.
And this also somehow results in adult Mike being cut down because if bullshit happens in your dreams, it also happens in real life.
I thought it wasn't real.
Your mind makes it real.
Except, Liar Man is like, okay, let's go, dog. I've got such sights to show you. That's actually another guy. Come here, boy. And it's interesting to think that the whole movie could have been thwarted, all these assassination attempts, if he had just told them he didn't mean it.
Diplomacy is always the better option.
Well, except, he was lying.
I guess if there's orbs involved, it's not.
You may not take your own life.
But I really want to.
But, dang, Mike conjures a portal using the power of his mind because the script decided that he could do that now, and he leaps through it into some science office decorated like a mid-tier escape room, but it doesn't seem to have as many cum stains as a normal escape room. I don't know how you do escape rooms, Dave, but you're allowed to use the whole hour for whatever you want.
You and 4 other people in bathrobes show up.
Well, I'm great at puzzles. I solve it in 30 minutes, but I paid for an hour. You think I'm not gonna take advantage of this very fun room that's, all dressed up to look like Edgar Allan Poe's?
Yeah, I love Edgar Allan Poe.
I love him so much.
They call me the Raven.
Because I squirt on the fly. I'm gonna come, says the Raven. Verily.
Verily. I don't remember this version.
It's better.
Careful what you look for.
Okay. He wanders around to the front part of the house, maybe, and he runs into the nice man.
Let me offer you some lemonade.
Yeah, look, this movie has had a terrible track record so far with yellow liquid. So, do not drink that. Oh, also the creepy grandma from the first movie is here, I think.
Jebediah.
Okay, so this guy is named Jebediah, and I suppose he's an inventor type, and he makes the fork portals or whatever, but Mike, like me, doesn't want to hear about it. So he goes back to the desert where there are now entirely way too many Poles. No, Dave, I don't mean Polish people. Put away that sledgehammer.
Sorry.
Later that night, Mike uses his newfound mind powers to crush a scorpion.
Fatality.
And crush a dwarf with rocks.
Fatality.
It's funny that he has to use mind powers for a thing that you just do every weekend. That's not necessarily the first thing I would do with mind powers, but it's not out of the question. Some dwarves are very crafty, like in Game of Thrones, or very opposed to capitalism, like in Snow White.
Hey, brother.
Oh, look, it's Jody Ball, who I completely forgot about. He says his death was a lie because Ball, well, that's life.
I didn't abandon you, Mike. I was taken.
I will find you.
And Mike's like, all right, cool. Then he dicks around with the hearse for a bit. This movie's mostly about hanging out. It's like Clerks. It now appears that Mike's got a plan to go back in time to screw with Tall Man to ensure he never becomes evil. But when he goes through the portal with Jody, they end up in some sort of post-apocalyptic future, or maybe present-day Cleveland.
You can't stay here. There's a risk of infection.
That does not narrow things down. So then they go to a beach, like a random ass beach. Well, Reggie has arrived in the desert now, and he gets ready for a potential upcoming battle by grabbing a bunch of weapons and I think throwing on his old ice cream outfit for some reason.
Oh my, those are ice cream, man.
I know. Then he shoots some stinky dwarves. And it's right around here that I realize how long it takes to reload a 4-barrel shotgun, especially if you unload all 4 barrels on only a single stinky dwarf. It's like that old saying, never fully unload on a stinky dwarf. That's it. That's the whole saying. I guess the original sayer didn't feel the need to explain why you shouldn't do that. Plato is like unprompted. Hey, don't fully unload on a dwarf, especially if they're stinky.
Don't ask any more questions. You just gotta trust me on this one, bro.
Plato kicks open the door to the town square, the marketplace of ideas. That's it. I just need you to know. Also, there's people in a cave and they see the shadows and they think that's reality, but it's not reality. It's because they're in a cave. Plato, go take a nap.
Well, it's like Plato once said.
But in this instance, the main benefit of this particular shotgun should be, less damage per squeeze and more rounds per reload, at least when dealing with dwarves, which he is.
Getting really good at killing you, little motherfuckers.
You're okay at it. I mean, Dave has some notes. You just find yourself in that situation a lot. But also, are they that hard to kill? You're great at something that basically nobody else has ever tried.
It's like the easy way of getting in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah, you just show up in the office. I've killed 50 dwarves. gotta be a record. They're like, yeah.
Hey, Mike, I found you guys.
Mike and Jody show up then, but Mike doesn't trust Jody for some reason.
Don't trust him, Reggie.
I literally don't know why. But also, there's not really any reason I would trust a floating ball who says he's my brother. Then Reggie slips Mike a tuning fork, which obviously makes some sense from our perspective, as it clearly does something to the balls. What the hell does Mike think he's supposed to do with a tuning fork? That's like secretly handing off a guitar pick before getting drafted into the Iran war. But, in case you need it.
Is the power of music gonna solve the phantasm?
Also, how is he supposed to use it? His head is a ball. It's like handing you a gun. You're like, if you shoot through your head into his head.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!
But, okay, whatever. He and Jody go back to the beginning. Sadly, not all the way to the time of dinosaurs because zombie dwarf T-Rexes. Too ahead of its time, too awesome. The world is still not ready. But Jody explains that Jebediah was an undertaker. Wait, he was an undertaker? Okay, wait. I just thought he was a rival ice cream man. Okay, think of it like a door.
Oh!
But no, I guess he was an undertaker who created an interdimensional gate, as undertakers sometimes accidentally do. And he did this, of course, because he wanted to learn the secrets of the dead. And this is the plot reveal that has been decades in the making.
The more he put in the grave, the more questions he had.
I don't even understand what I'm seeing.
Mike's like, I'll help you learn those secrets by making you dead, bitch. But he can't stab him because, you know, something, dimensions, quantum fields, tachyons, being a giant pussy disease, you know, whatever.
He can't affect him.
And Jebby goes through the gate, but the tall man returns, and that's that. Poof, graveyard. So after 4 movies with hints, the big answer to all the weird stuff that we've seen is that a guy, he like built a machine to learn more about a thing that makes no sense, but like, how and why? I feel like that's not enough of an explanation. What do you think their secrets are? It's like, those guys look like they're having fun or something. I want to play whatever they're playing. I obviously don't know. But Jody and Mike fight, and Mike kills his, I suppose, evil brother ball, but then another Jody attacks. Ha! And knocks him through another portal, and now they're in another mausoleum or whatever, and the tall man tries to teabag a ball into Mike's brain because I guess maybe the ball is not life? Like maybe it's death? Oh, the movie is sending some mixed messages. But now Mike uses the tuning fork, which freezes them. But again, it doesn't freeze him somehow. And they're frozen for long enough that they could kill Jody again.
What is happening, brother?
But then Tall Man sucks the tuning fork into his own grasp, and they go back through the portal to the desert, and Mike's car unleashes a janky DIY evil orb at the Tall Man, and then the car explodes, which kills him for 2 seconds until another Tall Man comes through and pulls out a ball in Mike's head. But he was just trying to put a ball inside his head. Was he trying to double ball him? It's like ball in, ball out. Like, what do you want to do with his ball, with his brain balls? Like, literally, what is happening right now? This is bullshit. Mike should just rage quit and report Jody and Tall Man's accounts to the mods. They keep respawning like crazy. Then the Tall Man goes back through the portal, but with Mike's head ball, like literally taking his ball and going home, because he's a tall baby is what he is. He's a big friggin' tall ass baby piece of shit.
I'm dying, Reg.
Oh no.
But Reggie vows to go after him, and Reggie goes through the portal, and then there's another deleted scene flashback, and that is it. I mean, wow, cliffhanger. Whoa. I can't wait another 10 years to find out what happens next, because like, what's gonna happen? Although, hey, before we move on, if Jody's evil, why did he recruit Reggie to help get Mike? It's not like the Tall Man needed help finding Mike. Was Jody just not evil at that point? And then did he become evil at some point? Didn't he not have very much pea juice or whatever, like a long time ago? He never disappeared because of a lack of pea juice. I just don't get what's going on with Jody. And to be fair, I don't really get what's going on with anything. But this time it's the Jody thing that I'm most hung up on. So, whatever. Bye.
Be coming right back for you.
Honestly, it's fine.
Is there a ball in there? Are there balls in there?
have dementia.
Okay, well, instantly you can tell this was made in the mid-teens. It's got that weirdly crisp, shaky cam thing going on. Crazy how every single horror movie sequel from this time period has the exact same look. But I do appreciate instantly knowing what to expect.
One big pile of
But it still feels good to be back home.
Reggie wanders through the desert, ostensibly only hours after the last movie ended, but also like 20 years in the real world, and also how long it's felt to me since I started watching this friggin' series.
I sure could use a rocket pop right about now.
Because he's an ice cream man, I guess. Though it is kind of weird how much they have pumped up his proud food service for our country's freedoms in the last two movies.
I feel so patriotic sucking down a rocket pop.
Speaking of beloved movies that got sequels in the mid-teens, it's crazy how Phantasm and Tremors both eventually followed the perspective of the third lead at best.
My name is Reggie.
Hey, Reggie. Shut the hell up.
Imagine this channel one day being operated by one of the drifters chained up in Dave's basement. I would say that that's our third main character on this channel. This is almost exactly like that. Except I don't think the actor who plays Reggie even owns a toupee, much less the rights to this little weird-ass franchise like Burt Gummer does with Tremors.
He's taken everything from me.
Well, I just Googled Reggie's actor and he has dementia and is on hospice. So now I feel like a dick, but also kind of foreshadowing. Anyway, Reggie approaches a broken down building and takes nothing except a bag for his gun. A gun bag, an essential for the modern man. Very cosmopolitan of you to have a gun bag.
Interesting, European style.
On the road, some nerd who clearly stole Reggie's car is like, hey, get out of the road, because I guess he hasn't fully learned how to use the steering wheel yet. But Reggie's like, can I have a ride? And also,
Get the f out of my car.
But then, oh no, two orbs attack, and one kills the nearly nude nerd because, yes, Reggie ordered him to take his clothes off because Reggie has to Reggie. Then the orbs chase Reggie, who just blind fires out the window like that would do literally anything except probably, or at least possibly, wing an endangered species of vulture, forcing him to run from the federal government, change his name to Dave, and lay low as the cameraman for a YouTube channel. That's just like one video away from really hitting it big. Have we hit it big yet? Is this the one that did it? The one where I talk about Phantasm II being about poop and farts? Stratosphere, baby.
Sorry.
But seriously, it is a tiny floating orb, dude. It's like when I have to keep yelling at Dave when he uses a urinal. You're not gonna hit it by chance. You have to aim. They're this big. How would you ever hit it? And moreover, you're not gonna slow it down with suppressing fire. Did you ever play Brothers in Arms?
Oh, that game was sick. That was the one where you could tell your buddies to do suppressing fire and you flank, yeah.
Well, because they would have the thing over their head and you could suppress.
The thing? You mean the orb?
But it's fine because Reggie clearly has unlimited ammo turned on, so, you know, nothing matters. Eventually, he captures one orb in his glove box, which is the Guantanamo Bay of car compartments, and he shoots it without a trial.
Damn right I did!
And then he gets out of the car to shoot the other orb. You know, in another world, he would have been an Olympic skeet shooter, but, you know, life often takes us in directions we never really anticipated. I was an Olympic hopeful, and then I got attacked by a tall man with floating balls and tiny dwarves. It's a tale as old as time.
What the hell? What's...
Although, speaking of, poof, now he's an old man, and Mike is there, and also old, and maybe I'm old now? How long have I been watching these? Wait, let me check my pockets. Ugh. No Werthers. Okay, I guess I'm safe. I'm not old yet.
You have dementia.
Hell yeah! Yeah!
Mike isn't buying Reggie's stories about shooting a bunch of balls and ice cream heroism, but he's been told to keep Reggie's mind engaged, so...
Tell me the story. From the beginning.
Well, you know, because as they say, nothing helps a person experiencing a psychotic break more than encouraging them to retell their horror and erotic visions over and over. They explored it in depth in the psychiatric documentary Shutter Island.
Okay, listen, the doctor said I'm supposed to keep you engaged.
Anyway, Reggie's story is apparently like just the last scene that we saw, like right where we left off. But now with a girl. Obviously, he offers to ride her into town as her car is busted. And he wants to bust in her
Let me just get my...
And she's like, I don't usually ride with strangers. But then she's like, okay, take me all the way to my house, you weird old pervert in torn clothes with a car full of guns. You seem safe. My name's like the time that it's darkest just before.
Dawn.
Hi, John.
And because this is a stupid horror movie, Reggie evidently explains everything that's happened to him so far.
I'm still trying to make sense of this story of yours.
You and me both, but I'm also trying to understand how this achieves your true goal of getting laid, Reggie?
It is complicated.
I don't know, but as she goes upstairs to sleep, Reggie writes a song about her, which, as a fellow musician, I mean, I respect that, man, but he can't remember her name, which I respect that less.
And I whisper your name.
John C. But it actually works, and she comes down to bang him until the first crack of her namesake, but he's deep asleep. Legendary.
Epic, actually.
Reggie dreams about the non-Marvel Civil War, which is such a dad move. Dads cannot get enough of that Civil War shit. They're crazy for it. They're cuckoo for the Civil War. And in his dream, he talks to a sick old Jebediah brand tall man who's like, if you're watching this movie,
They bring us here to die.
Also, there's an evil busty lady under the bed? Oh my God, where is this Civil War hotel? And how do I get in there? I want a room on whatever floor has all the busty ladies under the beds. I gotta get in there. I don't care if she's undead or whatever.
Getting dragged out of La Quinta.
La Quinta : Civil War. Reggie wakes up only to find Dawn already bald to death, so he runs to his car to grab like so many weapons, including a sword that, like condoms, he never uses nor has used, as far as I can remember. He then runs into Dawn's farmhand, who doesn't speak English, though you probably remember him from Agent Cody Banks 2, a movie with a script that barely resembles English.
Shh. Not today.
And then the ball kills a horse.
Bad news about your horse.
And then the farmhand accidentally slaps the ball right into his own throat, and boy, is he milking it. The death scene, not the ball. He wouldn't even get milk if he milked that thing. He'd get like piss, probably. And very few people like to drink piss straight from the ball.
Again, a serious YouTube channel.
We are serious YouTube. We get education money because we educate. There's some fifth grader right now being like, do you think I should drink the piss that comes out of a ball when I milk it? And then he sees this channel and he goes, actually, no, I don't think I'm gonna. You're welcome. I don't know why the name that sprung to mind was Potiphar.
Some holy thing just happened.
But he's just a boy. But we are British.
Well, you've told me about it several times.
Anyway, old man Mike doesn't believe any of this, although he does helpfully suggest that Reggie might be living in 2 separate dimensions at the same time.
Thousands of universes are all sort of spherically stacked against one another.
That's sure to help Reggie's confusion.
It's like talking to ChatGPT to just reinforce your own delusions.
You're not crazy. You're honestly as clear as you've ever been. You're just living in 2 dimensions. Thank you, my scheming eunuch chatbot.
A scheming eunuch chatbot named Potiphar.
He does seem like a pretty potent adversary.
Back to Reggie. He's still wandering around in the woods, and I think he should leave, like in his car. But nope, there's a ball the size of the Death Star and also a portal. And oh, by the way, old man Reggie also sees the portal, and they both decide to walk through the portals at the same time, give or take like 20 years. Ball time is different than our time, as you know. I don't know why I said that. You know that, I know that. Younger Reggie ends up in a white room with the tall man.
The year is 1979. Funeral home where first we met.
And I guess he's in the first movie, kind of. But unlike me, during the first movie, he doesn't have that tiny spark of hope in his eyes that maybe things will turn out okay. And tall man is like, hey dude, look, I'll make you a deal.
You want to see your family again? I'll give them to you.
I almost forgot about that.
But only if you stop trying to ruin my plan to make things better, and also no, you can't have Mike back. And Reggie's like, no deal. I need Mike.
I want my friend Mike back.
What? I know he's a snack, but get your wife and daughter back, you friggin' idiot. Do ice cream men get CTE from repetitive brain freeze or something? Would you like your wife and child back? No, I would like my friend's brother. He has a ball in his head, but I like him.
He is mine. Always.
But Reggie holds firm on the not caring about his family thing, despite his wife being the only woman that has willingly had under-the-clothes sex with him. So let's all give a big round of applause for the hero of our film. He's like, I can't have sex with other strange women if my wife's back. You know who would let me have sex with strange women? My friend's brother.
We'd high-five afterwards. It would be sweet.
Perhaps you need time to think this over.
Reggie's now in a very clearly digitally rendered mausoleum, while he himself was, I guess, filmed on a green screen.
Great.
Isn't technology wonderful?
I mean, it truly looks like a mid-tier fan film uploaded to YouTube. But not as good as our mid-tier fan films uploaded to YouTube that none of you watched. But oh hey, the titty lady from the first movie floats up, and Reggie seems, I mean, if not into it, he's at least hesitant to shoot her, because after all, she stabbed him and turned out to be secretly the tall man. You can practically see Reggie's pervert ears whirring as he tries to use the blood quickly leaving his head, considering the implications of going for it right now. This thing killed me. This thing is secretly a man. This thing is actually technically something I've been hunting for like 30 years, but also boobs?
Titty!
Oh, dang. Still evil, though. Sometimes you spin the pervert wheel and it breaks loose and it seriously injures you. But that's life, baby. That's how life goes, I think. Then a cave opens up and he goes in there to shoot some dwarves. And then that melts away, and the tall man shows up again to be like, are you sure you don't give a shit about your family? And Reggie's like, no way, man.
It's called loyalty.
You know, the thing you give to one of your friend's kid brothers. A weird tall guy like you can never know how much more important that is than loyalty to your actual family. I only knew my kid for, like, what, 6 years at best? A wife and kids are temporary. But your friend's kid brother? Oh, that kind of bond cannot be easily broken. A rope of 3 strands cannot be broken. The 3 strands being me, my friend, and my friend's kid brother. No man will tear that asunder.
Why are you so obsessed with these 2 friends?
It's a good question, with a probably disturbing answer.
You think I want your reanimated zombies, but I will take back my friend.
It's the same problem, isn't it?
But Reggie tries to shoot the tall man and is like flabbergasted when it doesn't work. What the? Like, dude, you're currently standing on a piece of rock floating through the nothing after crawling through a now melted cave that randomly appeared in a magic mausoleum. Of course the gun isn't gonna work, Reggie. I am trapped in hell. Poof! Reggie wakes up in some kind of morgue. The first appearance of such a locale in this entire franchise. It's crazy it took him so long to go into a morgue or a mausoleum or whatever the hell. Anyway, Reggie's freed by a non-evil dwarf and also Dawn?
I think you got me confused with somebody else, buddy. My name's Jane.
Okay, well, you may or may not also be 2 dwarfs in a Jane suit. I don't know. You think that's the craziest thing that's happened to me in the last 10 minutes? Honestly, anything's possible at this point. But they tell Reggie that he's been locked down in this place for a long time, and the tall man has been extracting information from his head, which I think is a euphemism for he's been watching all of Reggie's nasty sex streams, like he's watching Skinamax, because surely there's no actual information in Reggie's syphilitic brain. Oh God, Reggie's jumped by an evil dwarf? Man, I almost forgot for a minute that you're supposed to be distrustful of all little people. Thanks for reminding me of what's really important in life, movie. Then more of these post-apocalyptic scavenger-looking goobers show up, and oh my God, one of them is Mike.
Oh, man!
Oh, I love you, Mike. I would trade my whole family to give you another squeeze. My friend's little brother. How long was I out, Mike?
You've been on ice for a decade.
Actually, no new Phantasm movies came out while you were out, so you didn't miss much. Because the point is that, oh my God, it is post-apocalyptic out there because the tall man and his massive balls have teabagged Earth into submission at some point because they used an alien virus.
It's bad shit.
And it was great. You should have seen it. You should have seen it, Reggie. It was like, honestly, it was the coolest, the craziest, most resplendent visual spectacle the world has ever witnessed, man. And you should have been there. Honestly, they should have made a movie about it, but that we didn't. We just got us talking about it, which is almost as cool. It's like they say, there's nothing cooler than what your mind can come up with. The world was conquered by an alien virus and floating balls and all this stuff, and I'm sorry, I'm boring you. Let's talk about you. What have you been up to?
Oh, you know.
What a fine use of our time that was.
And Reggie's like, oh, wow. That does sound, I'll just take your word for it though, I guess. And then poof. We're back in old man world, and the timelines, oh, they're inching closer and closer together. And basically this shit, it's just Silent Hill in that I hate it. I hate both of those things. And I would say myself for having to watch them.
Reggie, I had your dream.
Yeah, it was kind of up.
Oh, great. Now Mike's watching Reggie's pervert shit too. Bad guys attack, but it's fine. Because Mike shoots them with a rocket launcher, the most loyal of all weapons, except, oh no, Jane's taken. Mike! And apparently there are loads of tall men who are, I guess, aliens, but maybe also from another dimension.
I'm in dimensions you cannot possibly imagine.
They're clones from an alternate reality possessed by demonic alien spirits from another dimension's future.
Why in the world would aliens build a shitload of dudes that look like Jebediah, the Civil War Undertaker scientist? What does that have to do with anything? What purpose could that possibly serve? Is that form like the peak of sexiness on their gravity aspect? Because maybe they're all short, and so he's just so tall, and they're like, damn, that must be the hottest thing that's ever existed. We're gonna make 1 million of them. The machine only got him to the aliens, I think. I don't think it does anything. I think the aliens are independently building tall men who are independently taking human brains and putting them in balls and human bodies and squishing them into feral dwarves. There's so many things happening, but like why? And then it doesn't matter anyway because they just shat out an alien virus that killed everyone.
Well, every tall man deserves an amusement.
Also, what exactly is the tall man's plan that was good for everybody? And in what way does he need Mike for it? Like, he's already 99% conquered Earth without Mike, and spoiler alert, it seems bad for most people.
Their heads would swell up until they popped.
I guess he could be lying again. It's so interesting to have a villain who just, like, lies. Whoops. We thought way too long, and now Jane Dawn's neck is snapped. Bye. The good dwarf, who was undercover as a bad one, as seen in Detective Dwarf Undercover Unit, only on CBS. Anyway, the good dwarf, which is also the name of a show on CBS, he starts stabbing everybody before literally suicide bombing the tall man. Now that's noble, but we just heard them say that they're like 1 million tall men. And as far as I can tell, there's only one good dwarf. It's not a good trade. This is like trading a pristine holographic Charizard for some torn up, cummed on Pidgey.
You added a word.
Oh, did I? Did I add something to the script?
What are you doing with those Pokemon cards?
What? I traded for it.
I traded for Pidgey, the hottest bird.
I mean,
the most powerful.
The regularist, the most untitillating bird. Reggie's old again, except Mike shows up, half in his reality, to throw him a gun so that he can kill maybe bad guys, maybe just regular doctors and nurses, and then a machine gun car drives up. And let me just say, it's sort of a miracle that we basically kept the original cast for this entire franchise.
Jody?
How's it hanging, Reg?
Mike was sort of recast in the second one for studio reasons, but generally speaking, it's been these same sad dudes the entire time.
Haul ass!
Oh yeah, you're right. We need to drive north.
The bastard hates the cold.
The solution is obvious. You have to make him fall in love with an emotionally unavailable accountant. If he's in a cold relationship, he'll die. Although I guess you need 1 million of them because there's an infinite amount of tall men.
We're gonna harder.
But then this scene gets intercut with Reggie dying in real life while Mike and Jody watch, and I guess he really does have dementia? Maybe I have dementia? Was my cameraman always naked? Is that a new thing? And I don't know what's more upsetting right now, if all of this is actually a dream, or if none of the things that we've seen are a dream. In fact, if this scene is supposed to be real, then that means that Jody never died like was claimed at the end of the first movie. So is literally every single thing in this franchise just a crazy dream that Reggie had just now, right before dying? Did he ever actually have a wife and a kid? Did he ever assault a militant lesbian lady? Obviously, I don't No. But if before I die, I have to rewatch all the Phantasm movies, then I think I need to figure out how to just like get raptured or something. Whatever, during the mid-credits stinger, the good dwarf falls through a portal in the desert because he only sort of suicide bombed himself, I guess. And he feels up the boobs of, oh my God, it's Rocky. Yay, I'm glad you're back so that we can assault you more.
Really?
Very cool. Then they hop in the car with the other three guys and they drive into a storm of balls.
How the hell?
I have zero answers for you. I don't know what this franchise means. I don't know what day it is. I'm not entirely sure what I'm called. I don't know why my cameraman has all that salad dressing, but has also no apparent salad. But I do know that fortunately, this is the last movie, so I don't have to care.
I could live with that.
Okay, Tall Dave, you'll imprison my mind no longer. Ah!
Hey, boys, so now what?
I don't know, I hadn't thought that far.
You go into the local grocery store, it's like, I got orbs to pay.
You're like spilling your bag of orbs all over the counter.
You have to chase after them because they roll on the smooth ground.
My orbs!